Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Fantasy Endgame on a wonderful Saturday afternoon filled with football. If you're a college fan, you know you're probably going to check out whatever your favorite college team is doing. If you're an NFL fan, well, don't worry, less than 24 hours. We got week 3 action about to get underway. Of course, we already had one game. I mean, I wouldn't say it was thrilling, but it was a game.
No.
Maybe you rolled Alan Lazard out there. Good for you. Maybe you rolled Ramondre Stevenson out there. Not so good. Either way, we might have to compensate for Thursday night, and we're gonna, of course, help you get those start-sit decisions in. Make sure you got the winning lineup to either keep rolling or to make up for a slow start. Either way, it's way early in the season. Don't panic. If you got trade questions though, you want to make some moves. This is a great time to do it. We'll definitely help you answer those questions. And of course, it goes without saying, you got injuries. I mean, I'm not even asking. You have injuries because there's no way you have a team that doesn't have a single injured player on it. It's not possible, especially this week, because there are a lot of names, big names on the injury report. So we're going to get to all that and talk about who's in, who's out, who's questionable, and what do you do about it. I know a lot of people, of course, concerned about the San Francisco 49ers because now it seems like they just can't field a healthy team. So I think the first general question we need to discuss is, do we really need to just go all in on guys like Jordan Mason, Juwan Jennings, whoever the tight end is now for San Francisco, and the third receiver? Or do we start to worry, hey, maybe this is not the Niners offense that we should be looking for?
I mean, I think you got to go all in on Brandon Ayuk. I think you got to still be very high on Jordan Mason. I wouldn't say all in on Juwan Jennings here, but certainly I've had to elevate Juwan Jennings. I don't even know who the backup tight end is. I'm not starting whoever the 49ers backup tight end is, to be honest.
It's hard enough for tight ends these days. And you said this a couple days ago on our last live stream is, man, there's only like 2 tight ends you could depend on. And one of them is George Kittle. And now it's not George Kittle anymore. So
Nope.
what do you do at tight end? I mean, this is why a lot of people are asking. And I think Thursday night was a perfect example of this. Hunter Henry or whatever tight end I have that hasn't done anything so far, like Dalton Kincaid was a popular one. Man, Hunter Henry was a trap, wasn't he?
Yep. Of course, and which tight end had a great game that night? Oh, Tyler Conklin, who did nothing the first 2 weeks, and he has a great game. I'm just gonna look. I've been saying it for years, and I hope it starts to catch on. Just don't make tight end does not need to be a position in fantasy football. It can be a flex, but there's no reason people who drafted David Njoku have to go try to play like Hunter Henry and then get screwed over. Or I'm sure Mike Gesicki will probably be a trap this week too, or whoever. You know what I mean? Like this should not be necessary in fantasy. There aren't even 12 tight ends you feel good about. There aren't even 10 in your 10-team league. So yeah, do your league mates a favor next year. Turn tight end into an extra flex spot.
Yeah, tight end is the new kicker, meaning just it's not worth it. I'm glad you mentioned Gesicki, though, because despite the fact he was great last week and the fact he gets the Commanders this week, he was already feeling like a trap. And now T. Higgins looks like he's going to play. So does this – I mean, I almost feel like I just don't want to go there. I feel like I'm setting myself up for a huge letdown with Gesicki. But at the same time, it's like, okay, well, I have Kittle or Evan Ingram and all these other tight ends who aren't playing or doing anything. I mean, I don't know. But who else do you roll out there if your tight end is injured, right?
Exactly. You're going to go pick up like Pat Freiermuth and hope he's better than Mike Gesicki. You're going to pick up Juwan Johnson and hope he scores I mean, really, it's you might as well just roll Gesicki and take what you get. It's not like you have to worry about like, oh, my opponent has Dalton Kincaid, I'm going to get smashed at tight end. Or my opponent has Sam Laporta, I'm going to get smashed. Nah, you're probably going to score the same amount of points as he does at tight end. Everybody's going to get 5 points, so just whatever.
So I mean, look, if you're streaming or you have to pick up a tight end because yours is hurt, like a Kittle, and like, okay, fine, yeah, go with Gesicki, sure. But if you have a Dalton Kincaid type, somebody who's been disappointing, no. Sam Laporta, no. Just start him. Just start him. So I did mention that T. Higgins might surprise us all by actually playing, but we have a lot of guys who are still not playing. We already talked about a couple of them. Let's get to the injury report because it might take a while. Let's start with the bad news. These guys are either out or almost surely out, meaning doubtful. All right. So, of course, the big one is Cooper Kupp. Although maybe encouraging Cooper Kupp not put on IR. Does that mean something?
Yeah, I think there's still. I don't want to like be the. I don't want to be the pessimist over here, but I think there is still time for him to be put on IR today. I could be wrong about that, but if he doesn't go on IR, I think that is definitely a good sign because it means the Rams feel like there's a chance he could be back before the 4-week mark. So, actually, I just saw their roster moves, the Rams roster moves. It does not look like he went on IR. So, okay, that is good news. Yes. So, probably looking at a 3-week absence here, but that's not too bad.
Could be worse. Put it that way. And
Yes.
even though his injury came after Puka Nakua's, is a different injury, and so he might be back before Puka Nakua. And who knows? Nakua now they're saying might not be ready when he's eligible to come off. So at least we know the Rams are going to be without their top 2 receivers. We'll see if Jordan Whittington is a trap. Let's just put it that way.
Right.
I'm okay picking him up, and look, if you need to, I'm okay streaming him, but let's not go overboard and just declare like I've seen on some circles like this is it. He's this year's Puka. Maybe. Debo, we already know. He is out probably more than 1 week. Same thing with AJ Brown. Missed last week. Gonna miss this week. That's already been officially confirmed. Here's an interesting one. Joe Mixon, just when you thought it wasn't serious, it's serious. He is out, and Damian Pierce is out. So, Chris, I'm obligated to ask you. Really not, but I'm going to ask you anyways. Cam Akers must start? Question mark.
Obviously, not a must start. But I do have him in. I am starting him in 2 leagues. I'm starting him in a redraft league where it's a 14-team superflex league. We went 0 RB, so we took 2 stud QBs. We got Burrow and Kyler. We took 4 really good wide receivers, and then we grabbed like Gus Edwards, Devin Singletary, guys like that as our RBs. I'm starting them like over a guy like Gus Edwards this week for sure. And then I'm starting them in another dynasty league where, yeah, my running backs are terrible. Not a must start, but I have them in like kind of like I would call it the startable range. So guys I also have in this range are like Jerome Ford, DeAndre Swift, Najee Harris, Chuba Hubbard, Carson Steele, Austin Eckler, Zach Moss. So you could do worse.
And that's a great that group of players. It's a great point there. Those are all the guys who are in, kind of timeshare situations, right? There's another back involved for the most part, or they've just been terrible, like DeAndre Swift. Why not get the guy who is getting all the touches? Because the other 2 running backs are hurt. I mean, Ogunbowale might get a few touches, but why not? Take a shot here, right? Take a shot on upside. Like, what is Zach Moss's real upside right now? Not too great. So there you go. Akers, definitely startable.
Yep.
Kenneth Walker is not startable. And now, even though they're saying he's doubtful, now it's doubtful now whether he's going to come back next week. It's sounding like it's a multi-week injury.
Well, actually, head coach, why can't I remember his name? The new head coach. Yes. Because I guess he was at practice on Friday yesterday. So he said he's very hopeful that we'll see him next week. So hopefully we see Kenneth Walker next week. If we don't, I think next week will be the last week we'll be without him. But fire up Charbonnet again. Fire up Charbonnet.
Right. I'm very hopeful he comes back. I'll tell you that. But definitely won't happen this week. Charbonnet not in a bad spot. George Kittle is in a bad spot. He's not playing. That was one of those fun midweek additions to the injury report out of nowhere. Yeah. So we already discussed tight end, and I'm sure we'll get a ton of tight end questions because Evan Engram is also very unlikely to play again. That hamstring injury. If y'all watched the Beat the Breakout, talked about Brenton Strange. Some people have asked, can you start Brenton Strange? Why not? The Jags seem to continue to throw to the tight end position. And look, this is a guy, don't forget, he was a second-round pick in last year's tight end class, which looked like it maybe still has a chance to be historically good. I mean, why not, right? Is he a decent Kittle or Ingram plug and play?
I think if you have Ingram, I think he should just be the guy you add, because that way you don't have to stress about this every next week. Like if you go add Gesicki and then T. Higgins comes back, is back, and Gesicki's target share goes way down, and then next week you're like, I need another tight end, and Ingram doesn't play again. Like I think if you have Ingram, you should just add Strange. I was looking more into it for the streamers video that I published today. Brenton Strange tied Gabe Davis for the team lead with 7 targets. He had almost a 22% first read target share, and he had 2 end zone targets. Now, granted, one of them was the Hail Mary at the end of the game, but still, even one ends if you can get a tight end who's going to get you about 7 targets a game and has a chance to score, that's gold right now. So I definitely think I probably prefer Strange over Gesicki right now, knowing that T. Higgins is coming back. And if you got Evan Ingram, I think Strange is the guy you add, because then you just play Strange, and then when they say like, "Hey, Evan Ingram's back," okay, you go back to Evan Ingram. You don't have to worry about tight. Well, I say that, but you shouldn't have to worry about tight end for a while.
Worry slightly less, yeah, but that's exactly right. That might be a good option again with Higgins back. Again, Gesicki, who knows? Let's see. Also, at receiver, Jordan Addison out another week. So maybe Jalen Naylor in a good spot. Talked about him the week before. And Raheem Mostert looking doubtful. Mike McDaniel saying doesn't look good. Obviously, you don't want to start Mostert. And then, sorry, guys, if you emptied the wallet on Kareem Hunt. Not playing this week.
Nope.
We'll see. We'll see what happens, but definitely don't put him in your lineup this week, even if you did add him. All right, and then we got the questionables. This one also kind of popped up out of nowhere. Michael Pittman. Man, Michael Pittman really hadn't done much already the first couple of weeks, and now he's questionable for tomorrow. You just sitting Pittman until further notice.
I'm not outright sitting him, but I have him in my floor with no upside tier of guys this week, especially with the risk of the injury. So guys like Judy, Diggs, Greg Dortch, Khalil Shakir, Jacoby Myers, guys like that. Like, he'll probably get you some points if he plays, but you're probably not going to be too excited that Michael Pittman was in your lineup. Plus, it's not a great spot for him again this week. He's had a rough schedule so far.
Yeah. I mean, schedule definitely part of it. Anthony Richardson not targeting him as much as we thought. Again, it depends on your options. We'll get to that when you get to your questions, but I think you have something better. Just don't risk it here. Very interesting that Jordan Love is questionable and making it sound like he's got a shot. He might play. Do you think he plays?
No, because they just activated Sean Clifford from the practice squad, which is probably a pretty good sign that Jordan Love is not playing.
Yeah. I never really bought into this. Again, when it first happened, they were saying 3 to 4 weeks. It looks like it's still going to be 3 to 4 weeks. So, yeah, I'm not falling for this. Justin Herbert is possible he misses because he got banged up on that one sack against Carolina. He's been limited in practice. Chances Justin Herbert sits.
I don't think he's going to sit. From what I understand, this is the same injury Patrick Mahomes suffered in the Super Bowl, and he finished the Super Bowl. I think Herbert will play. I think, there's no way I'm starting Justin Herbert. I mean, what's the ceiling anyways? Now he's banged up. I think they're just going to run the ball. I mean, they're always going to run the ball as much as they possibly can there with the Chargers. So I think he'll play, but he's not going to be in any of my lineups.
That's a good point. You really shouldn't be studying Justin Herbert anyways, healthy or not. Josh Palmer, again, questionable. Same thing. Shouldn't be too interested here. Tyjae Spears, still questionable. I'm still all in on Tony Pollard this week, and I don't think Spears is startable anyways. And then you thought this might be a smash week for Greg Dortch. I don't know. Maybe you didn't think that. I thought that. But he's questionable. What do you think this means? Is finally going to see a big week for Trey McBride?
Oh, I think we're going to see a big week for Trey McBride. Definitely. I don't think the Greg Dortch injury is anything serious. I'm trying to look here. Okay, he was limited yesterday with a hamstring, so I guess we'll see. But look, this is actually a good spot for Greg Dortch. I mean, you never get excited starting Greg Dortch, but the Lions are allowing the most everything out of the slot, like everything, receptions, targets, yards, everything out of the slot of any team by far. So I think Greg Dortch, I think I have him in, like I said, I have him in my like floor, but no ceiling. So like a guy, if you need, like assuming he plays, like I just need a guy that I know will get me points. I think Greg Dortch will get you points this week, but he doesn't. Like, what's the upside with Greg Dortch? Like,
right.
Very low.
Right. There you go. Okay. And then let's get to the ins. Here's the good news. These guys are going to play as far as we have been told. Justin Jefferson, big sigh of relief there. He is good to go after last week getting banged up. CeeDee Lamb, I know he made an appearance briefly in the injury report. He is good, so zero concern with CeeDee Lamb. Amon-Ra St. Brown, same thing. It turned out to be nothing major. It was like a contusion. He could feast once again this week. I think he should. Yep. Nico Collins, this was also a midweek thing. Definitely don't want to see him out. He's not out. He is in, so definitely keep Nico Collins in your lineups. And then let's see, we got Jake Ferguson. Wait, right, well, looks like there's one tight end who's healthy. Jake Ferguson, I guess you can put him in your lineup if you did rely on him as your tight end. I mean, I don't know. We got Fergie. Let's say you picked up Mike Gesicki. No, Would you just go Ferg?
Yes, I'm going to I'm just going with Ferguson. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think so. You saw even Schoonmaker, his first real action, still got targeted, was pretty good. Schoonmaker, another guy, don't forget about in Dynasty, but yeah, go Ferguson. Rashad White, a little bit of concern. No concern now. He's playing. Josh Downs will make his debut. So we'll see. I mean, look, if Pittman doesn't play, because he is questionable, if he's limited or something and Downs does play, I'm not saying I should start Josh Downs, but keep an eye on him. I think that's fair, right?
Yes.
Jaden Reed is in. But how good do you feel about Jaden Reed if it's still Malik Willis?
I think he's like a desperation start this week. You're hoping that like if you put Jaden Reed in your lineup, you're hoping that he like takes like a screen or an end around or something like that and makes a big play. Like that's it. That's the truth. So desperation start only.
Yeah, I agree. And, like Christian Watson leagues, I have him. He's just benched. Like, there's not even a thought. So, Jaden Reed can't feel much better. Tyler Lockett is in. He's good to go. Tank Bigsby will be back after banging up his shoulder last week. And last and least is T. Higgins. T. Higgins looks like he's going to play. He is in. I mean, based on the matchup, is T. Higgins basically I got him, I have to start him?
Pretty close for me. Pretty close. He's not even on the injury report, so it's not even like, hey, he's questionable or anything. He's 100% good to go. I don't have him. Like, I have him in the tier with guys like Amari Cooper, George Pickens, JSN, Jameson Williams, Drake London, T. Higgins, like guys that I feel good about, but I also understand that there is some risk with these guys. Like, I'm not going to put him, like, I don't have him up there with the guys like Devonta Smith, Chris Olave, DK. I don't have him up with those guys, but I have him like in the tier below those guys.
Fair enough. I think that makes sense. Okay, so that's the injury report. We'll see exactly what guys like Higgins do. Now, you're going to have a lot of questions, I'm sure, based on all those injuries and all the tough decisions you have to make. There's no buys just yet, and so probably have a lot of good choices. Well, you're going to have to make the right choice, obviously, if you want to win. So we're going to answer as many questions as we possibly can over the next couple of hours. If you've been here before, and I know we'll see you have, you know how this goes. Those super chats will definitely get answered. So just stick around. If you already dropped a super chat and we already have a ton lined up, then hang out until we get to you. And if you did not super chat, doesn't mean we won't answer your question. Just means can't guarantee it, because if you happen to scroll up, you'll see how many comments and questions we already have. So it's just not physically possible for us to answer as many as we can. But there's good news. If you either don't have time to get your question answered, or maybe you just don't want to put that super chat in, we get it. Like, trust me. That's fine. Not everybody, it's not your thing, but we have an app. It's called Draft Lane. This is a way that you can connect with us anytime, basically. You get that app, and again, it's completely free. If you go to the App Store, the Google Play Store, and you download Draft Lane, you get that app, and you'll see options for all the same things we do here. Answer your start-sit questions, waiver wire questions, trade questions, and even more. There's just a ask a question feature, and you can ask us, evaluate my team, or, what do you think I should do in this situation? You can actually just chat with us, type in your comments, and we will respond. And yes, it is us, Chris and me. That's it. It's not some automated thing. It's not some algorithm. It's us. We open the app, we look at your question, and we give you a response. That's how it works. So if you aren't sure about it, you don't want to try it out, or maybe you can't do the super chat, that's fine. You know what? Use the app. And what we're doing right now, again, the app is free. Download it right now, completely free. But to use any of those features, new customers right now, you're going to get a credit in your account, $10. You can use that towards a couple of start-sit questions or waiver wire questions, or you can use it towards a trade question. Check it out and just see what it's about. That's all we ask. And we've had a lot of people using it, especially this week. Answered a ton of questions throughout the week. When we're not here live doing this, we're checking the app and we're answering your questions. That's what we're doing throughout the day. And we've gotten, again, a lot of people just saying how great it is. It's easy to use. It's more interactive. So just try it out. It's called Draft Lane. This is our app. And we're going to answer all the same questions that we do on here, but on the app. So drop those right now. We can get to it after we're done here. We're going to go check and answer those questions. And of course, while you're setting your fantasy football lineups today to make sure you're ready for Sunday, week 3, also get your pick'ems in for Underdog. If you haven't tried Underdog yet, it's a great time to do it because you get this free pick. New customers right now, if you sign up for the very first time in Underdog, you get Pat Mahomes just getting 1 yard. That's right. That's how it works. You get a free pick. Pat Mahomes gets a yard. You take the higher, you win. It's a free pick. You combine that with any other pick, and then you can win your very first chance at a pick'em on Underdog. And existing customers also get free picks, right? If you guys already have Underdog accounts, make sure you check every day. There's always something free, or a profit boost token, or a vulture protection. There's always something. So if you're new to Underdog, again, you get this free pick, but make sure when you sign up, you use code ENDGAME, because that gets you not only the free pick, but also your deposit match 50%, up to $1,000 of bonus cash. So again, free money. You sign up, you deposit money, free pick to win money, and you're getting free money just for creating your account and making a deposit. And it doesn't have to be, of course, up to 1,000. You can put however much you want, but the more you put in, the more free you get. So guys, if you haven't tried Underdog, trust me, it's the most fun way to play fantasy. It's everything that you can think of that you want to do when you're watching the games. Go higher or lower on every player from every game, including kickers, including defensive players. You can make in-game live picks. They update. And if you're into college football, guess what? They got college football too. You go right now and you can see almost every game on the slate for today, and you can make picks for players on there as well. So download the Underdog app and make an account right now. Just make sure when you do, you use code ENDGAME so you get all of those offers. And now it is time to answer your questions here.
Let's do it.
Let's go to the first super chat. And the very first comment was from Alex a couple hours ago. So Alex, in half PPR, are we going with the former MVP or the current MVP, Mahomes or Carr?
I still got to go with Patrick Mahomes. I know Derek Carr's been better than Mahomes through the first 2 games, but man, we talked about Hunter Henry being a trap. We talked about Mike Gesicki being a trap. I mean, Derek Carr could certainly be a trap this week. So I can't bench Patrick Mahomes for Derek Carr. I can't do it.
It's the same logic, right, as like benching Sam Laporta in order to play Hunter Henry or Mike Gesicki. It's not just, oh, you can't bench the guy you drafted. Yeah, you can. But again, let's weigh this carefully. Are we sure Derek Carr is going to be better than Pat Mahomes this week? I like Derek Carr this week, but I'm not benching Pat Mahomes. Just period. Najee Singletary. Okay.
Okay, we're picking between those two. Ah, man, I think I got these guys. I have these guys. Yeah, these guys are like, let's see. Najee against the Chargers have been a pretty good run defense. Singletary against the Browns, they haven't been as good. I will say I saw today the Steelers rookie tackle who's been really good out with a knee injury that he suffered yesterday, I guess. So maybe I'll go Singletary. I know because I know no one's taking touches from Singletary. I'll go Singletary. Plus, he catches more passes. Singletary slight edge here.
It's a tough matchup for Singletary, but like you said, he does get more touches. So he was good last week, although it was the Commanders. But this is pretty much neck and neck. I mean, I don't feel great about either of these guys. So let's just go Singletary. And then are you going D-Rob, who is now the number one receiver for the Rams, Tank Dell, or Xavier Worthy?
This is between Dell and Robinson for me. Believe it or not, Robinson has a better matchup against the 49ers. I think he might be a little bit safer here. I know it's hard to bench Dell, but I kind of have these guys in the same tier here. Like, they've got upside, but they've got risk. But I feel like Robinson might be a little bit safer. It's not a great matchup for Dell this week. I think I'm going with Robinson.
Yeah, I mean, Demarcus Robinson, Jordan Whittington, Colby Parkinson. Who's going to be the leading receiver for the Rams? Don't know. It should be Robinson. I'll take the shot on the upside. I really think it could be Robinson. This is why we were in on him in the preseason. Let's see it, right? Let's see what happens. I think they just got to give him a lot of targets. So I'll take the shot on Robinson here. Boomer, what is up? His personal assistant is telling him to drop Lockett for Cortland Sutton. But he's thinking about Downs also.
Yeah, I would drop Lockett for Downs, I think. Because Sutton is fine. Sutton is one of those guys where you're like, well, I got like 3 guys on buys this week and like 2 injuries. I can throw him in, and I know he won't give me a 0 probably, but he also isn't gonna do much else. So give me Downs. Let's see if Downs can do something this week, especially if Pittman's out, or even just as time goes on here. Remember, Downs was a guy we liked prior to that injury in the preseason. So give me Downs.
Yeah, the numbers, usually we dig into those advanced stats, and without hitting you over the head with all of them, just telling you like target share, it matters, right? Cortland Sutton, expected fantasy points. Like, Cortland Sutton should be doing better, but you probably won't, because that Denver offense is just horrible. Bo Nix still a very much work in progress until, I don't even know if ever, but at least later in the season, there's no reason to really have Sutton, because what's the upside? The upside is you're hoping he somehow scores a touchdown. Well, those guys could score a touchdown too. So
right.
Let's go Downs. Let's do Downs here. And then streaming D, but the Ravens are available. He's asking if you would roll with the Ravens basically the rest of the season. I don't know.
I mean, I don't roll with any defense the rest of the season. Look, the Ravens got to go on the road in Dallas this week. I don't think they're one of my favorite defenses this week. So nah, I'm not like picking up a defense and rolling with it. I feel like I can stream better than what one, like, there's always one defense that ends up just being like great all year out of nowhere, kind of. But outside of that, I feel like I can stream. But yeah, I would definitely roll with Tampa Bay this week. Tampa Bay at home against Bo Nix, like, give me the Bucks.
Yeah, he kind of explains more. He's saying, well, I just don't want to have to worry about it, because on the waiver, it's like rolling waivers. It puts you back to the bottom of the queue. I can't pick up the best defense every week. He doesn't want to have to keep thinking about it. But
you don't need the best defense every week. You don't need the best defense every week. Like, I don't like, seriously, like, look at defensive scoring. It's, unless you're in some league that has crazy defensive scoring, then like, okay, maybe, but if you're in like a typical league with like normal scoring where you lose points when they give up points and you get whatever for a sack, whatever for interception, most defenses are between 4 to 8 points. And then you have those defenses that maybe get you double digits. And then once a week, there's a defense or two that scores a touchdown. And it's like, oh, I wish I had them. But it's like, come on, you can't, like, first of all, don't worry about defenses. There's a million other things to worry about in life than defenses. And second of all, just pick up whichever one is left over after waivers clear. You'll be fine.
With the exception of like the worst of the worst, like let's say Washington's, or maybe the Panthers and a couple of others, most defenses will at least have a week or two where they're startable, streamable, depending on the matchup. It's not about the team's defense, it's about who the opponent is. So yeah, I think it's okay. And look, Baltimore, how great has their defense been last week? They collapsed against the Raiders and gave up a lead in the fourth quarter. Now they get to go on the road against the Cowboys. I don't want to start Baltimore's defense this week. So I don't think Baltimore is like one of those defenses like, oh yeah, top 10, no doubt. So just keep streaming. Julio's in the house. What's up, Julio? By the way, getting to our members, their questions as well. They're first in line here. Better stash, Braylon or Bucky?
I think it has to be Braylon Allen at this point. It has to be. I mean, man, remember it's only been 3 games for this guy, and it looks like they trust this guy. I'm honestly getting a little bit nervous for Breece. Like, could we see something closer to a 50-50 as the season goes on? Remember, this guy is a rookie. He's only played 3 games, and they're already trusting him this much and getting him this involved. And it's not like this was a game, like, sure, the Jets were up big. I can't even say they were up big, but like they were probably never really threatened in that game. But still, even in the first half when that game was still a game, Braylon Allen getting a lot of touches, a lot of work in this offense. So I think it has to be Braylon Allen.
Yeah, exactly. He's getting usage. He's getting usage into the goal line. He's getting involved as a pass catcher. I mean, that's what you want in a backup running back, especially if he's out there in waivers. I like Bucky, but I think you got to go Braylon. Dan O, somebody dropped Pickens just because, but man, he's already got good receivers. Mostert. Yeah, you can drop Mostert.
Drop Mostert. He's not even playing this week. And I mean, look, last year, Mostert had an outlier year, not only in terms of performance, but in terms of not getting hurt. Although, of course, he got hurt at the end of the season when he needed it most. This year, it looks like he's going back to being regular old Mostert, right? Just always hurt, never playing. Like, you don't need Mostert. Go get Pickens.
Right. Mostert's not an absolute must drop, but for Pickens, absolutely. I would definitely do that. Right. And then, speaking of Dolphins, the other John, Waddle or Higgins?
PPR, non-PPR, half PPR. It's Higgins. He's got Joe Burrow throwing to him, and he's playing the Commanders.
Very, very painful, but I have to admit that it's true. It has to be Higgins. It's got to be. Keith, what's up, Keith? Have a lot of acres this week. That means you're going to do a lot of winning. But let's see, Akers over Najee?
Yes, I think so. I just feel better that Akers will get the touches. He'll catch passes. He's in a better offense. Give me Akers.
Not a lot of upside for Najee. Over Higgins?
No. I'm going Higgins. There's still a lot of risk with Akers here. Here's
the big one. Over Carson Steele?
I think so. I have them kind of in that same tier. Like, they're startable this week. So, but look, they both have. Yeah, I think so. This one's close. This is the close one for me here. But I think I'm going Akers. But this is a coin flip for me.
I'm going to take a chance on Akers again. Should get more touches for sure. We don't know really. We have no idea what Carson Steele's workload is going to be. I don't imagine he gets more than a dozen carries on the ground. He might catch a couple of passes. I mean, Akers really could get 20 carries. He could. He's done it before. And this is a team that wants to run the ball. So I'll say yes, no, yes. All right. Anthony Giangregorio, welcome back. 12-team PPR. one of those teams that lost both CMC and Pacheco, rolling with B-Rob and Ford. Okay, so let's start sit receiver Waddle, Cooper, Deontay, DeMarcus, Lockett, Higgins. So that doesn't say how many.
So Higgins is actually the one I feel the best about here, but I also really like Cooper. I mean, I know, I mean, assume you need at least two. So you look at Cooper, and everything is there for Cooper. But I was diving into this more, of course, looking at the fantasy points data. Everything is there for Cooper except for one thing. His catchable target percentage right now is only 58%. So I think we figured out the problem with Amari Cooper. It's that Deshaun Watson is terrible. But if that number goes up, even like, let's say this week, because this is Giants this week, maybe that number goes up to 70, 75%. Everything else is there for Cooper. Like, he's running the routes. His average depth of target is there. His air yards are there. He's got an end zone target. Like, everything else is there. His first read, everything else. So I'm going Cooper and Higgins. And then if you need a flex, probably DeMarcus Robinson, honestly. Probably DeMarcus Robinson.
I'm taking a shot on a guy like D-Rob and his upside over Waddle and, Skylar Thompson there. I just would rather do that. So I'm going to agree. Higgins, Cooper, got D-Rob third here. All right, Sergio. Oh, wait. And then we already said, if you have Ferguson, go over Gesicki.
Ferguson. And you can drop Gesicki now and pick somebody, like pick up a flyer if you want, because if you're going to roll Ferguson, you don't need Gesicki anymore.
Well, look, you lost CMC and Pacheco. You probably need to pick up another running back just
right
to have a running back. Sergio Prieto, Pollard, or Neighbors?
You know what? I think I'm almost always in PPR. I'm going to go the wide receiver, but I think I'm going Pollard this week. I like Pollard. He's got a great matchup. Neighbors on the road against the Browns, like Denzel Ward, Daniel Jones. There's a lot Malik Neighbors is going to have to overcome this week. Could he do it? Sure, but I think I'd rather just have Pollard.
Yeah, I know. And you and I are feeling Neighbors is going to be this week's biggest letdown based on how good he was last week. It's very opposite end of the spectrum as far as matchup. So I like Pollard. You guys saw I have him as a boom. I'm in on Pollard. So that's where I would go. And then let's do Anthony Terry. Not a super chat, but we'll do it because this is a Pollard question as well. This is a tough one. Pollard, Charbonnet.
Yeah. This is tough. But again, I think I might have these guys. Yeah, I do have these guys neck and neck. And they both have great matchups this week. But I just think I'm going to give Pollard the slight edge. We've seen Charbonnet now, and you can't even say like last year you could have made an excuse for him, like, well, the offense, he's a rookie. But even this last game, he was so inefficient on the ground. We just seen that. Like, even last year when he started like those 2 or 3 games, you're just so inefficient on the ground. Like, yeah, he'll catch passes, but you're really just playing Charbonnet for the pass catching, the volume, and the hope for a touchdown. Where I think Pollard can just give you so much more on the ground. Not to mention he also has the pass catching and could score a touchdown. So I'm going to go Pollard here as well.
Yeah, I'm sticking with Pollard. Sticking with Pollard too. All right, Eduardo Nolasco. Mixon and Walker out. That hurts. So we got Terry, Singletary, Kirk, or Deontay Johnson.
I think these guys are all in my. Are they all? Well, no, I have Deontay there. I have Terry there too. I think I'm going to give the edge. Let's see. Terry against the Bengals, not a good match. Deontay's matchup's not bad. Who else you got here? I don't think I can do Singletary or Kirk over these guys, honestly. Although I do have Kirk, but Kirk on the road against the Bills. That Bills secondaries look good. I think I'm going Deontay Johnson here. He's got the slightly better matchup of all these guys, and I'm going to hope Andy Dalton slings it.
Agree. Assuming it's some sort of PPR, wouldn't do Singletary. No reason to trust Kirk. I like to think maybe that they are going to involve Terry more, but I think I trust Deontay Johnson a little bit more here. All right, so there we go. And then Twism needs one for the flex. Carson Steele, Gus the Bus, Jalen Warren, Jalen Naylor, Jalen Tolbert. How many more Jalen's here? Isaiah Likely.
I think this one's between Steele and Gus for me. I got I got Gus in like the desperation tier, and I got Steele at least in the startable tier. He's in that. At least he's, like Gus will get the carries, but it's such a tough matchup for these Chargers running backs this week against the Steelers. He couldn't do anything against the Panthers last week, so I'll just roll with Steele here. I mean, Naylor, you're just hoping for a touchdown. I don't know if I'm ready to buy in on Tolbert fully yet, so I'll just go with Steele here.
Hey, you know what? I think I guess, and I don't use the word safe for any of these picks, but I think the pick that you can feel, will get you some points is Steele and got touchdown upside. I think if you're shooting for upside here, it's like, let's see who has a good game. I like Jalen Naylor. Been talking about him a couple of weeks now. There was something, I had just seen it. Jake Tribby on Twitter said that Kevin O'Connell had said that Naylor is kind of playing the TJ Hawkinson role as far as the middle of the field there. He has a great separation score, which, he's a downfield threat. Okay. Maybe he won't get that open all the time, but don't mind the matchup this week either. So I think if you're shooting for upside, I might go Naylor. If you want to trust Carson Steele, I think that might be fine too. Okay. Rahul Ramesh. Welcome, Rahul. Struggling with the flex. I guess that's Deontay Foreman or Hubbard.
Yeah, I have Hubbard back in the startable range this week because it's the Raiders, who right now are giving up the 24th most points to running backs. But also you look at Deontay Foreman. I mean, okay, he had 14 carries last week, but he's only run a route on 5% of the snaps. Like, he's going to get you nothing in the receiving game pretty much. So you're just banking on him getting 14 to 15 carries and scoring a touchdown, which, look, he could do. But, Chuba runs routes, gets targets, gets the carries. We got Andy Dalton this week, so I'm going to chase the volume and the fact that it's Andy Dalton, not Bryce. If it was Bryce Young, I might go Deontay Foreman and just say let's hope he scores. But with it being Andy Dalton, give me Chuba this week.
Yeah, give me Chuba too. I'm not buying too much into Foreman all of a sudden being the lead back just because of last week. Let's see. Let's see if they at least move the ball, which I think they can at least do that with Dalton there. Hubbard should be fine. So let's do that. I think Miles Sanders has played a lot more lately because they've just been blown out so early that it's like, okay, let's just throw him in there and give him, toss him a bone. I really think that's what it is. Chuba is still the guy here. And then he wants to know Packers or Bucks on defense. Probably the Bucks.
These are both great choices this week, but I think Bucks are your safer choice because, I mean, how many points is Bo Nix and the Broncos going to score on the road in Tampa? But I think Packers have a little bit more upside, but a little bit more risk. So I think it just comes down to what you want out of your defense. You just want, like, hey, I know these guys are going to give me solid points and not kill me, or do you want the potential for like a pick six, multiple sacks? Because Will Levis, one thing about Bo Nix, he throws interceptions, but he's only been sacked 4 times. I say only, but I mean, and the Bucks aren't like a high sack rate team, but Will Levis has been sacked 7 times this year. So, and he can always do some crazy, like, no look over the shoulder. Here's a touchdown for the defense. Go ahead, guys. You know what I mean? So if you want more upside, I think you go Packers, but Bucks probably safer.
Man, I just got to say, if Levis does that again, especially after last week, and you saw Callahan going insane, which rightfully so. If he does it again this week, he's getting benched, like no doubt.
Yeah,
I would go Bucks here, but I think this is pretty close. I'm always just going to lean toward the one that has the better matchup, and I really think the Broncos' offense is going to continue to legitimately be the worst in the NFL. So we'll do that. Harry Grossman, rank these flex options 1 to 8.
Oh man.
All right, Harry. Justin is here. Half PPR. I think that's Chase Brown. He definitely can go near the bottom. Higgins got to be 1, right?
Yeah, I'm going to go Higgins 1, Rachaad White. I assume we're only ranking them for this week. Higgins 1, Rachaad White 2. I think I'm going to go Ford 3, Akers 4, Kirk 5. Down 6. P. Ryan 7, Brown 8. think that'll be my rankings.
Yeah. And I'll do probably almost the same, if not the same. I like to rank them backwards, not just to be different, but because it's easier for me to just start that way. So I'm going to go Chase Brown last. I'll go Pirine 7th. Just don't see much upside there for him. 6th, I'm going to go Downs. Need to see something first, and just don't know how many targets he'll get. And Kirk should have been at 1 or 2, but right now Kirk has got to be like 5th here.
Yep.
4th, 3rd. Go White 2nd. White, and then Akers, and then Higgins has to be 1st. Well, there you go. 4th, 3rd. Okay. Start T. Higgins. Thomas, 12 team, 2 receivers, 2 flex, 2 and 0. A little flex there. JD 5, Rice, Ridley, Achane, Kyron, McBride, Jacobs, Mason on the bench. Got Coleman, Mooney, D-Rob, Watson, Braylon Allen. Thoughts?
All right, let's see. Rice, Ridley. Yeah, I mean, I can't start D-Rob over Ridley. Achane, Kyron, McBride. Yeah, Jacobs, Mason. Yeah, I'm flexing those guys. Yeah, I think your starting lineup is good. Nothing I could change there. It's good. I mean, your starting lineup is great, honestly. Rice, Ridley. You got 4, man. Achane, Kyron, Jacobs, Mason. It looks like you get to start all 4 of them. That's pretty nice. That is pretty nice. You got McBride and JD 5. Yeah. Looks good.
Yeah, nothing to change here. Yeah, just keep going. There might be weeks going forward where you want to start Watson if Love is back. Maybe D-Rob, who knows? I would just say you're very deep at running back. Your receiver depth is not as strong, but let's see. Like if D-Rob Watson turn out to be more valuable later on. So I think you're good for now. It's a very strong team. So let's see why you're 2-0. Carl. Flex 1, Javonte Cooks, Bigsby, Dowdle, or Ty Chandler?
Oh man. I mean, I wish I could just say Brandon Cooks, but I'm a little nervous after last week where we saw Jalen Tolbert get way more involved than Brandon Cooks. So it's like, okay, I don't know if I can even trust Brandon Cooks now. Bigsby, I mean, no. Dowdle, no. It's between Javonte and Chandler.
I did notice Aaron Jones wasn't on the injury report at all, right? Because he had something, and I guess it's nothing.
Yeah, I didn't see anything. Let me look. Did we see anything? I don't see anything. I think he's fine. I don't see.
Yeah. So
yeah. The thing, as bad as it is, I think I still go Javonte here because not a great matchup for Ty Chandler against the Texans. And I mean, really, how involved is Ty Chandler getting? I mean, for whatever it's worth, Javonte Williams took over this backfield last week completely, and I don't think that's going to change. And it's not, one thing about the Bucs, they haven't been great against the run this year, and Vita Vea is out.
Right.
Not that I'm high on Javonte this week, but I'm higher on him than these guys. I'm going to just chase the volume here and go Javonte.
Yeah, none of these are obviously great options. If Jones was limited, maybe I'd go Chandler, but I agree. Javonte is always prefer the guy who I think is going to get more touches. It's probably Javonte, and Vita Vea out is kind of that determining factor. So let's go Javonte and hope for the best. Let's go back to Thomas because he wants trade ideas. Got Ridley. Should he do Ridley and Kyron for Nico? That's too much.
Yeah, you should be able to do Kyron for Nico. Kyron for Nico should be enough. Like I don't understand this. Like,
yeah.
Like if you're deep at running back, like you're like, hey, I have like 4 or 5 really good running backs, and your trade partner here is like, dude, I need running backs, and I have like 4 or 5 really good wide receivers. Kyron for Nico is a complete like. Yeah, and this has nothing to do with you, Thomas, but I just don't understand why people like have to like. Why can't you just send a fair trade? Why can't somebody just say, hey, I'll give you Nico for Kyron, a totally fair trade? Why does it always got to be like you gotta overpay for my players. You want my player, you gotta overpay. Like so many people have this mindset, and then trades never get done. Like Kyron for Nico is a very fair trade that would benefit both teams, and is the type of trade that should happen in fantasy.
Even if the guy, I don't know, and if he's like that, then just don't trade with him. Get somebody else. But I mean, if you want to throw in Coleman, I don't care. That doesn't matter. But yeah, it should be enough. Ridley was, been pretty good. Kyron was drafted before Nico, right? You shouldn't have to give more than that. So, yeah, just do a 1-for-1. One of those running backs for Nico should be fine. All right, Sammy. On defense, are we going Green Bay, Seattle, or Vegas?
I'm going Green Bay. Vegas, by the way, just lost Kuntz, who was looking like a monster pass rusher alongside Crosby. I know they still have Crosby, but also I know they're playing the Panthers, but this is also the Andy Dalton Panthers. Now that doesn't like scare me off the Raiders. It's not like, oh, I can't start the Raiders now, but I don't think it's going to be the biggest game for the Raiders. I'm going Packers. Give me Packers against whatever terrible Will Levis sack machine and potential, turnover machine.
Seattle tempting too, because Skylar Thompson. In case you weren't aware, I don't think he's good. But I'm okay with the Packers here too. It'll be a little.
Yeah, Seattle's a great option too, for sure.
It's one of the first two for sure. Let's go to Alex B. You're welcome as always. Lost Ingram, picked up Gesicki. Roll with him or Ertz, Strange, Auden Fant. Talked about this earlier.
Yeah, I'm just putting Strange in, especially if you have Evan Ingram. Strange just makes too much sense. Like you just pick up Strange. You should be able to roll with him until Ingram comes back. You don't have to worry about Gesicki losing targets to T. Higgins or anything. Again, Strange. Tied for the team lead, 7 targets, 2 end zone targets. 22% first read percentage. Like, just go with Strange.
And I see some people saying, "Oh, Gesicki's questionable and he's hurt," but I think he's fine. He's not officially on the injury report, right? He dressed for practice.
Yeah, I think it was. I think he was questionable, but then yesterday I think he was fine. Yeah,
right. Yeah, that was like a midweek thing, but he's going to play. But T. Higgins also going to play. Jason Quinones. Very nice. Sat Stevenson. All right. Okay. Thanks. But we never know. Aaron Jones or Ford?
Well, I'm going Aaron Jones this week, which means it'll probably be Ford. So start Ford.
There you go. Start Ford. Apex Predator got offered Hill, B. Rob, or Mason and Neighbors.
This is very close. See, this is a very fair trade, but I think I got to take the Tyreek Hill side still. Yeah, it might be a little rough for 3 or 4 weeks, or I guess 4 weeks here with Skylar Thompson at QB. But when Tua comes back, you're talking about a top 3 wide receiver in Tyreek Hill. Brian Robinson should be good all year. You don't have to worry about like if CMC comes back with Mason. And I still I know right now Neighbors, like people are going nuts for Neighbors, but I mean, I put Neighbors on the boom and I said, if this is the week to start Neighbors, it's this week. Why are we overreacting to the week where Neighbors was an obvious smash? So I'm going Hill, B. Rob.
I feel like this is fair, but I'm definitely taking the Hill, B. Rob side. Like you said, Tua is not out for the season. And now it's even more encouraging. It sounds like they're being extra careful with him just because they kind of have to. He's going to be ready to play very soon. So take the Hill, B. Rob side if you're getting offered it. Like that's a smart move. And you eliminate the risk of CMC coming back and making Jordan Mason irrelevant. Brandon Ahmed, would you trade London and Zamir for CMC and Laporta? Oh, yeah.
I mean, the only way I probably wouldn't do this is if you had like terrible wide receivers outside of Drake London. That's like the only way. But assuming you have even decent wide receivers outside of Drake London, which I'm sure you do, take CMC Laporta for sure.
Yeah, Laporta will at some point have a good game, maybe this week. He's still just as good as any other tight end that's doing nothing. So Yeah, this is worth it. This is definitely worth it. Dan O, Moss or Monty?
I still gotta go. I still gotta go Monty here. I mean, Moss, yeah, okay, it's the Commanders, and you want to chase that, but I mean, it's still Zach Moss. I got David Montgomery pretty clearly ahead of Zach Moss this week.
Yes, definitely gonna go Monty here. Alex B traded Ramondre for Rashad White and a second round pick in Dynasty.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
I think they're like the same age. Ramondre might even be a little older than Rashad White, but
I feel like he is. I know Ramondre was kind of old for a running back rookie coming into the league, I think, and he's got more touches. Even if Bucky Irving is there, still, Ramondre is not necessarily going to be the only running back in New England forever. So I think that's fine. I think it's a slight win because you got to pick. Fred Boone, Jerry Jeudy, or Zamir White?
Oh man. So Judy is like Judy's that guy. Like I know he'll give me points, but what's the ceiling, right? What's the ceiling here? But Zamir is like, I don't know if he'll give me points. The ceiling for Zamir could be much higher because it's the Panthers, and last week he reasserted himself as the clear RB1 in this backfield. But for some reason, the Packers have been like I know they were losing last week, but it's not like they were getting blown out. It's not like they were down 3 scores and like, okay, all we're going to do is pass. Like, it's like a 10-point game. Like, you can still run the football when it's a 10-point game. Like, I don't know. I probably, if it's my team, I probably gamble on the perceived upside of Zamir White, because what is the upside of Jerry Jeudy?
Yeah. I'm not ready to give up on Zeus just yet. He's, I think, going to get not only more touches, but he's going to have some more efficiency. This could be the week, right? Maybe this is the week. So just gamble on it. No upside, then no win. Joey Ford. Got a lot of different answers here. Okay, this is a 16-team PPR league. Would you trade Connor and Judy for JT?
Yes.
Well, so that I could ask for a low-level whiteout back. I would do it.
I would do it. I still prefer JT this year. Definitely. Like, I know Connor's been good the first 2 weeks, but I mean, I still prefer JT.
We're not the biggest
if you can get, look, I wouldn't mind taking a shot on Leggett if the other guy's willing to throw in Leggett. Why not? Got Andy Dalton now, maybe.
Right. Leggett was actually kind of encouraging in week 1, his usage. And of course, there's nothing encouraging about the Panthers in week 2. But now they're talking about maybe trading Bryce Young. I don't know if that's going to happen. But if Dalton's there, at least you feel good that the pass offense is at least going to have some legs. Like, we weren't big on Judy at all, but he's usable in a 16-team league. I get it. He has value. But is he going to really help you win a championship in any? No. JT over Connor, just it's enough of an upgrade. It's worth it. And you can stick a guy like Lockett or Leggett in there. Yeah, definitely do it.
Yep.
Terry R, the Bucks or the Bills on defense?
I mean, I still go Bucks here, even without. I mean, like, Vita Vea is more of a run stopper than a pass rusher, so I don't think that's going to hurt their. And they're like, because again, we did our streamers video today, and I had to talk about defenses. The Bucks rank dead last in sack percentage right now, so it's not like they're a high sack team, anyways. But they're at home. It's Bo Nix. He'll still get sacked. He'll still turn the ball over, and you don't have to worry about the Broncos lighting up that Bucks defense and putting points on them. I mean, even on the road last week against the Lions couldn't put points on them. So Buffalo's fine, but it is the Jags. You know, there's still potential that Trevor Lawrence hits Gabe Davis on a long touchdown or Brian Thomas on a long touchdown, and so I'm going Bucks.
Say it again. Always got to go with the opponent when it comes to streaming defense. Buffalo's a better real-life defense than the Bucks, but the matchup is much better for the Bucks here. So just go Bucks. Cam or Kyron?
I mean, I noticed a lot of people, like when we were talking about the Nico Kyron thing, people were like, "Oh, Nico way over Kyron." Like are people this low on Kyron Williams right now?
I think people are just full-fledged panic about the Rams because of the injuries. But again, without their wideouts, doesn't this mean Kyron gets more involved, more touches?
I think so. I mean, definitely Kyron over Cam Akers.
Even I, who has been recorded over the years, the biggest Cam Akers truther and probably the biggest Kyron Williams doubter, not hater, but doubter, would still go Kyron if it was my team.
Yep.
Jesus Tapia, London, Pickens, Diggs, D-Rob, pick 2.
I think it's still London and Diggs for. I mean, London and Pickens for me, not Diggs. Diggs is fine, but I mean he's pretty much one of those touchdown dependent. He's like, I don't want to say it because I'm probably incite the chat. He's fine. I'll still go with London, and I'm going to chase that upside of Pickens. I feel like that big game is coming from Pickens at some point here, and it could definitely be this week. So for me, it's London and Pickens.
Yeah, I think for at least another couple weeks, Diggs is going to be living off that 2-touchdown performance. People are still going to feel like they have to start him.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going upside here. Pickens definitely should have had a big game last week. I'm definitely going Pickens. And then, look, if you want to chase ceiling, I could go D-Rob. But if you want to play it safer, I'm still fine taking London. Notice how Diggs was last in my rankings there.
Diggs has like 60 air yards and a 5.2 ADOT through 2 games. Like Diggs is what he is. Like he'll get you 30 to 50 yards on any given week, and then you're hoping he scores a touchdown, basically.
Exactly. Next super chat goes to Vegas Mark D. Jason, Worthy or London?
I have JSN and London very close this week. I think I'll gamble. Like London, I feel like is your safer option. But I just don't know, like, because London, another guy, you look at London, like, he's only got a 7.9 ADOT. Like, it's not great. It's not great, of course. Yeah, I think if it's me, I'm putting JSN in. I'm going for that ceiling play, but London is your safer option here.
I feel pretty good about JSN this week. I would put him in. I think he's in a very good spot. This is close, though. This is pretty tough, but I'm going JSN. I think that Seattle will be just fine this week. Which, by the way, we're getting to the rest of the super chats. We're about an hour in, so quick reminders for anyone who just jumped on. We're going to answer as many questions as we possibly can, but of course, we're backlogged. So if you super chat at any time in the past hour, hang tight. We have not ignored you or skipped your question. We're just getting there because I know people will ask. And we'll also try to do some of the non-super chats. This is also a good time to remind you, if either you don't want to wait and stick around, you can't stick around, or you just don't want to do that super chat, that's fine. Look, we have an app. It's called Draft Lane, and you can do the exact same thing on Draft Lane that you're doing here and ask your questions, start sit, waiver wire question, trade, and more. There's all sorts of features on there. So check out the Draft Lane app if you haven't already, even if you don't feel like you want to chat through the app, just download it and see what it's all about. And we have a lot more coming in this app in the future. This is just a start, but if you try it out right now, you download this and sign in, you can link your Yahoo and Sleeper fantasy leagues to it. You can check out your league records and standings and all that stuff. So if you sign in right now, you also get a $10 credit. So you can use those features like the start sit questions, just like you would on here, but basically for free because you get that $10 credit in there. So it's a good way to get your question answered because we will go ahead and answer everything that comes through that app. So again, if you haven't tried it out, it's a good time to do it. All right, let's get back to these questions. Let's do a couple of the non-super chats. We do have to catch up, but let's do a quick little lightning round. So no thought whatsoever. All right, a little bit of thought.
Okay.
Tiffany Fuller, Najee Akers, gut call.
Give me Akers.
Go for it. What's Najee's upside? Go Akers, Tiffany. Brett Keith, Whittington, or Deontay?
No, I'm going Deontay Johnson with Andy Dalton.
If Bryce Young was still the quarterback, would it be Whittington?
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. But let's go Deontay. I think he'll have a decent game. Felipe Perez, Daniels, or Mayfield?
Yeah, Mayfield's the safer play, but give me that upside of Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, this week, let's go Daniels. I think he'll be fine. All right, now let's get to Moises Gonzalez, one of the members. Higgins or Monty?
Higgins. Unless it's non-PPR. If it's non-PPR, sure, you can put Monty in. But look, I mean, Monty is probably safer. I hesitate to even say he's safer, though. Because you look at it, like the numbers say Monty should be doing far worse than he's doing, but he's scored both weeks, and he could always score, right? He could score again this week, and then you're like, okay, I got my Monty points, but I don't know. Are we chasing safe here? Give me the upside of Higgins.
Against the Commanders, he should want to show out, right? You would think if he's trying to angle for a big deal next year for some other team, probably, or the Bengals. Go Higgins. He's healthy. Supposedly. Jordan Olson, okay RB, or he's asking, am I okay? Etienne, Mason, Robinson.
I mean, it's hard to say you're okay rest of the season when, I mean, we've seen injuries can strike at any time, and we don't know if CMC is coming back or not. But I think at this point, you're definitely okay at running back. Like, I would be more than happy to have Etienne, Mason, and Robinson Jr. as my running backs. That doesn't mean you shouldn't be working the waiver wire, trying to get more running back depth, like pick up like those Braylon Allens, Bucky Irvings, guys like that who could see a larger role as the season goes on. But I would say right now you're good at running back.
I mean, this really depends on CMC, doesn't it? So, yeah, right now you're good. Good. I mean, more than okay. You're good. I mean, you can field 3 good running backs. A lot of teams can't even do that. So, Andrew Doherty, this is an 18 PPR league. Already got 3 rookies on the bench. Irving, Coleman, Whittington. Would you drop Coleman or Whittington for Deontay Johnson?
Yeah, again, drop Whittington for Deontay Johnson. I mean, even if Whittington shows out this week, I mean, Cup's coming back in a few weeks. Puka probably coming back 2 to 3 weeks after that. Like, yeah, I would drop Whittington for Deontay Johnson, definitely.
Yeah, I think you can do this. I think you could drop. It's an 8-team league. You could probably drop any of them for Deontay Johnson.
Right.
Alex B, Akers, or Zamir White?
Let's just go Akers. We know he's going to get the touches. I know the matchup is better for Zamir White, but at this point, just give me Akers.
Yep, go Akers. All right, Jermaine Harris might have asked this before. He's struggling. We need 3. London Waddle, Deontay, Tolbert, Rome, Keon Coleman in a 14-man league.
London Waddle, Deontay for me. I can't, like, still, I mean, I know I'm definitely nervous for Waddle this week, but I can't put guys like Jalen Tolbert, Rome Odunze, or Keon Coleman over him yet. I'm not there yet with Jalen Waddle. So it's the first 3 for me.
Right. Tolbert was good last week. Let's see. Exactly. Let's wait and see. I mean, the last 2 really haven't done much of anything. There's no reason to start them. So London Waddle, Deontay. Ben Arthur, are we flexing? Tank, Pittman, who is questionable, Ford, or Akers?
Man, this is a tough one. I mean, it should be Pittman. It should be Pittman, like, easily. But I don't know if it is. And especially he's not 100%. Josh Downs coming back.
I will say, too, and just going forward, by the way, guys, always good to know if it's PPR or half.
Yeah.
Or if we assume it's PPR for the most part. But, I mean, if this happened to be a non-PPR, I would go with probably Akers. If it's full PPR, I don't know, probably give the edge to Tank.
Yeah. just go for non PPR. Go Akers. If it's PPR, I guess just gamble on Tank finally hitting this week. But just because I don't feel like Pittman's gonna have a big game this week, like what's his upside? So
No.
Good luck, Ben.
Paul P, 12-teamer. Trade. That's a big one. Evans, Monty, and Mooney for Gibbs and Waddle.
I think I take Gibbs and Waddle. I think you're getting a big enough running back upgrade here. And okay, sure, you might not be happy with Waddle for the next 4 games, but I mean, all indications are Tua is going to be back as soon as his IR stint is up. I mean, what were they said? They said like the night after the game, he was out with some of his teammates.
Yeah, Disney on ice
with some of his teammates. So it doesn't sound like they're just doing the right thing by Tua and being extra safe with him, right, and making sure he has time to think about it. But yeah, you might not love this for the next 4 weeks when Waddle's playing with Skylar Thompson, but 4 weeks from now when Tua's back, I think you're going to love this. So I would take the Gibbs Waddle side.
Yeah. Now I'm looking at your roster here. You're trading away Evans and you're trading away Mooney, and you got AJB. I mean, yeah, you'll kind of be hurting at receiver in the short term because Waddle might not have a big game, and then now you have to start more. So this does kind of ding you right here, right now. But long term, I mean, in let's say 2 weeks, AJ Brown is back. Waddle, another week or two, he gets to. I think you'll be happy with this because you got Gibbs. You got Gibbs and Henry. You can flex Charbonnet. Man, I would drop at least. You can drop Dowdle. You can drop Pirine to get you more receiver depth. I think you need to do that. This is a team that you might want to pick up Jordan Whittington or somebody like that. I mean, you're going to need to. You got AJB out. All right. Jermaine also wants to know this. Take on Jonathan Brooks. Lost Pacheco. He still has Bijan. Picked up Carson Steele. And that's it.
I'm still holding Jonathan Brooks where I've drafted Jonathan Brooks. I mean, obviously, if you're in a league that doesn't have an IR spot and shallow benches, you don't need to hold Jonathan Brooks. But I still believe we're going to see him. I don't know if we're going to see him. Obviously, we're not going to see him this week. I don't know if we're going to see him next week, but I think we're going to see him at some point. And look, if Andy Dalton can get this offense to a respectable level, that's even better for Jonathan Brooks. So I'm still holding him.
Everything we said still holds, right? Nothing. He hasn't had a setback. Nothing changes. He was always a stash for the second half. Nothing's changed. So I'm holding him everywhere. I got him. And honestly, if some people have dropped him because they couldn't afford to stash him or they just, I don't know, got tired of waiting after 2 weeks, I'm picking him up. I'm stashing him. Brava Abe. Trade Pittman and Gus for Shakir and Zamir.
I mean, I know Pittman's been underwhelming, but I mean, are you that excited about Shakir and Zamir? I'd rather just hold Pittman and hope it gets better.
Yeah, this feels like selling low or giving up on Pittman.
Yeah.
He will be better. Gus too, honestly. Gus and Zamir, kind of the same guy, right? Getting touches, but not doing anything with it. This isn't an upgrade for you. So keep Pittman. Jonathan Warbe. Hey, pick a receiver, a running back, and a flex, right? I'm looking at that, right? A wide receiver 2, running back 2, and a flex. Akers, Javonte, Chuba, Juwan. Is that maybe Juwan Jennings? Scary Terry.
Yeah, I'll assume Juwan Jennings, not Juwan Johnson.
Yeah.
And based on the fact that these names, I'm going to assume, yes, it's a wide receiver 2, running back 2, and a flex. I'm going to go Akers. Man, these Akers, Javonte, Chuba all feel the same, right? Like they're going to get the touches, but they could also do absolutely nothing with those touches. But let's go with the guy in the best offense. That's Akers. Let's go with Akers. Wide receiver 2. Again, I know Terry's been bad, but I'm not ready. Is this PPR? Does it say? It doesn't say. I'll assume PPR. I'm gonna flex Juwan Jennings and Scary Terry. Jennings and Terry is gonna be my wide receiver and flex if it's PPR.
If it's PPR, yeah, go if you're gonna go with a risky player, and let's face it, these are all kind of risky. Just go with the receiver. I like I swear I don't spend that much time on Twitter, but that's where I get some rumors and things of I look for football news, right? Cliff Kingsbury said something about with the team we need to get Terry McLaurin more involved, and then it's like what is it, Tim Robinson? And he's got the hot dog outfit. It's like, we're gonna find the guy who did this. It's like, like, who are you talking to? Like, you're the one calling the plays.
Right.
We'll see. But look, I'm gonna go Terry, also Juwan and Akers. Ron Skov. This is the exact same group almost, except with Dell. Got Amari, Akers, Dell, JSN, or Jennings. I can only pick one of these guys.
It's between Amari and JSN for me. I mean, again, everything is there for Amari Cooper to boom this week. Everything is there. He just needs Deshaun Watson to be good enough. Deshaun Watson doesn't have to be elite. He just got to be good enough. I mean, get this guy to a 70, 75% catchable target rate, please, Deshaun Watson. That's not even good. That's still not even good.
I was gonna say everything's there except maybe the quarterback.
Yeah, except maybe just go JSN. Maybe just go JSN. I mean,
because Amari after last week, we're like, oh, Amari Cooper killed me. Amari Cooper, like, okay, he should have gone off. He didn't. So like, there's risk of calling it again, but we can't be scared to call a guy to boom. And who knows, right? Who knows? JSN might do nothing this week. I would go JSN. Amari's next. All right. Brother Abe, we already answered this one, but just so you know, make sure, because he did chat it again. We're going to say hold Pittman. IDAF.
I'm fine trading away Pittman. We get more than that.
Right. Good point. IDAFI, Zamir, Neighbors.
I still got to go Neighbors here. I know it's a tough matchup against the Browns, but I mean, look, we can't feel, even though it's the Panthers, if in week 1, Zamir had like 18 carries and like 40 yards, and then in week 2, he had like 17 carries for 35 yards, I'd be like, fire up Zamir, because if he gets 18, 17 carries against the Panthers, he's going to be great. But we can't even say he's going to get 17, 18 carries this week. So just give me Neighbors.
Like, there's some hope for Zamir White, but you're asking like Zamir White over like DeAndre Swift or Javonte Williams? Sure, just go Zamir White, but nah, can't do it over Neighbors. Don't love Neighbors this week, but let's start Neighbors here. Andrew Oliver, pick a flex in half. Diggs, Najee, Jason, Akers, B-Rob, or Higgins?
Higgins. Even in half PPR, I'm going Higgins. If he doesn't play, I'll go Brian Robinson. I mean, if you just don't even want to risk it, if you're like, I don't want to deal with Higgins, and maybe he's going to be a decoy, even though they're saying he's 100%, he's saying he's 100%, you never know. I'm still okay with Brian Robinson if you're like, I don't even want to risk it.
Well, he's saying doesn't have a replacement. He's in, right? He's not even on the injury report. Higgins sounds like there's no doubt. So just fire up Higgins. All right, Ron Skov again. Trade Kyren, bundle with Debo or Ayuk. Well,
I mean, if you're gonna bundle Kyren with Debo or Ayuk, you better get an absolute stud,
like a CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb, Bijan, Saquon, Jefferson, Brees, Amon-Ra, Tyreek. I mean, I don't think you're going to get those guys, but that's who you need to get if you're going to trade Kyren and bundle. If you just want to trade Kyren like straight up, I mean, again, I guess maybe you can't get Nico. Maybe people are just that high on Nico. I wouldn't mind taking a shot on Garrett Wilson, Devonta Smith. You already have Ayuk, apparently. Mike Evans coming off a down game. Might have another down game. DK, guys like that.
It's funny you say that, because even though he did score a touchdown, I feel like Garrett Wilson's value has gone down because people are saying, oh, he only got 33 yards. And look, Lazard is the guy there. It's like, I still think this is a good time now, maybe to buy low on Garrett Wilson.
Oh, Garrett Wilson for sure going to be on the buy low video.
Yeah,
sure.
Look, if you're going to bundle, it would not make sense to do it with Ayuk. This is not the time to trade Ayuk. This is the time to trade Debo because maybe somebody else thinks, okay, buy low, and you're going to miss him for a couple of weeks. But again, even if it's Kyron and Debo out for a couple of weeks, it should still get you like a Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb type. It should. But just trade Kyron straight up. Big Luscious, never a silly question. Cam Akers or Terry McLaurin?
I mean, Cam Akers might be a 1 week workhorse, or maybe even a 2 or 3 week workhorse, depending on Joe Mixon and Dameon Pierce. But it's not like Cam Akers is a sure thing here.
No.
So if it's non PPR, sure, I'll go Akers. But if it's PPR, I still got to go Terry McLaurin.
If it's full PPR, Terry should at least get involved. I don't know. I promise. I'm trying to be totally objective and non-biased here. Cam Akers is going to get all the touches, right? And he looked really sharp preseason, and Texans don't have a tough matchup. I might just roll with Akers here until we really see Terry involved. I might go Akers. So I think you're right. I think he's going to be a workhorse this week. Dang it, Zin. I changed my lineup. I got JD, Mason, Bijan, Olave, J-Mo, McBride, Flex, and B-Rob. On the bench is Amari, Downs, Jacobs, DJ Moore.
I mean, the only thing I might change here is Amari over Brian Robinson. But again, it comes down to your risk tolerance. Like if you're like, nope, I don't want to have that potential, 3-4 point game in my roster with Amari Cooper. Okay, leave Brian Robinson in. He should be totally fine this week. But if you want the potential for that 30-point game, that's Amari Cooper this week. So it comes down to your risk tolerance. I think for me, I'm putting Amari in because I want that 30-point game that can win me my week.
Yeah, and I wonder even if you're just going to say, okay, well, I don't want to risk Amari. I've been burnt, whatever. Okay. Do you feel like Jacobs? I wonder if Jacobs is almost safer than B-Rob too, because he's going to get so many touches again.
Oh, I didn't even notice Jacobs. My bad. Yeah, I would put Jacobs in over B-Rob, and then it comes down to, again, you want that incredibly high floor of Josh Jacobs, or you want the risky, incredibly high ceiling of Amari Cooper?
I feel like you already have a couple of potential high ceiling but risky players, right? Olave and J-Mo, like who knows? So if you want to go all in and just go all high risk receivers, go Amari. I think Jacobs is totally fine though. Jonathan Waterby again. Okay, well, half PPR. I don't think that changed anything though, right? I think we're still.
No. What was his? Let me scroll back here a little bit.
Yeah, and I did say, by the way, if you can tell us here.
Okay. No, I'm still gonna go Juwan and Scary Terry over those running backs.
Yeah, I think they're fine with this group. OG, too much. D-Rob, Ertz or Downs in half?
I'm going D-Rob. He should be the wide receiver one there. I know it's probably going to be Whittington, or at least that's general consensus. But I think it's going to be DeMarcus Robinson. Ertz is fine if you are looking for a floor play at tight end. Downs, I think you should stash Downs if he's available, see what he does, but I'm not starting him. Give me Robinson.
Yeah, this one definitely needs to be Robinson here. We did hear, of all the things Kingsbury said, started to talk about Ben Sinnott, about he's the future. He's going to be involved. I mean, I know it'll take time, but just be prepared. PD Tabil. Rice Ridley starting, needs either Jennings or Neighbors.
Again, I like Jennings this week. Maybe Jennings outscores Neighbors this week, but I can't start Jennings over Neighbors. I can't do it. I got to go Neighbors still.
No. In this case, you don't have to start Jennings. Stick Neighbors and Laporta or Pitts.
I still got to go Laporta.
Yeah. Stick with Laporta. Okay, so wants to know about this trade. Traded away Henry for AJB.
Yeah, I think that's a win. I mean, I would take. I mean, yeah, that's a win. Even with AJ Brown hurt, I still think that's a win.
Right. I mean, obviously, you're not going to have him for at least one more week, but if you're good at running back, you must be pretty good if you can trade away Derrick Henry and not feel it. So if you're good at running back, this should be good for you. All right. ASAP Cams, start 2 of Kirk, Javante, Odunze.
I think it's got to be Kirk and Javante. I mean, I know Keenan's out, but that didn't really help Rome Odunze last week. I just don't know. Like, until we see this offense and really this offensive line do something, I mean, what are we really expecting from Odunze at this point? So, yeah. Kirk and Javante, I guess.
Yeah. Might as well go with Kirk and Javante until Odunze does something. Bullman. We always know when Bullman's in the house. All right, 10-man PPR, Richardson, Goff, or Darnold.
Yeah, this is Richardson. Like, Goff and Darnold are fine if you need them, but Richardson has so much more upside. Go Richardson.
Yeah, stick with Richardson. Goff, not the best spot necessarily. Dallas or Minnesota on defense.
I mean, I don't think I can start Dallas against the Ravens. I think it's got to be. I mean, I know it's the Texans, but I'm going Minnesota. Minnesota's defense looks good, by the way, too. They look really good. Going Minnesota.
This is a 10-man league. Are those really your best options? I mean, those are good defenses, but surely you have somebody you could stream that's better this week. I mean, maybe, I don't know. They're probably not available. But like the Bucks, Packers, one of those. I don't know. But I guess between these two, sure. Akers, Shakir, or Coleman.
Yeah, just go Akers here.
Yeah.
I think Shakir is fine this week, but probably just go Akers.
Rolling with Akers. Tolu needs to drop one. Quentin Johnson, Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson.
Didn't you you probably just picked Quentin Johnston up? That's my guess. I really don't want to. I mean, I don't want to drop Watson or Dobbs because we could see Jordan Love back next week. But it's always like weird to pick a guy up and then immediately drop him because then it's like, why'd you even pick him? Why'd you even bother picking him up? Like, did you pick him up and now you need a kicker or something, defense or something?
I wonder. The question is if he drops, like you got to think long term here. You're still keeping Watson, I assume. You got to keep Watson because upside. If you drop Dobbs, probably not getting picked up after this week. You could always get him back again.
Yeah, I guess maybe drop Dobbs. You don't want to drop the guy you just picked up off of waivers. That's not a good look.
No, I think you can drop Dobbs. Robert Perky, Akers or Sharbs?
I got to go Charbonnet here. Like, we think Akers is going to be the workhorse, but we know Charbonnet is going to be the workhorse, and he's going to catch passes. Got to go Charbonnet.
Yeah, I mean, Charbonnet is going to have the floor here. It's not a bad matchup. I'm fine with Sharbs. I'm fine with either one. This one is really close to me. It's kind of a toss-up, which I think the thing we need to take away from this is, Robert, thank you. Appreciate that you tune in daily, but also he's saying he went 18-5 last week, which makes it sound like you're in way more leagues even than either of us are.
Yeah, well done. I don't know how you even handle that many leagues.
I thought I was in way too many leagues, but now I know that it could be worse. Major props. I'm not even just for winning so many of your leagues, but just for actually managing to stay on top of it. So
right, I know. I was like looking at I think there was like one league where I started, like I had Rashid Shaheed on my bench, and I had like a wide receiver that wasn't even playing. It's like I like forgot to check. Yeah.
Yeah, I have the bad habit of remembering to like put waiver claims in like the day after they've run. Like, oh, wait a minute. I just finished telling everyone who to pick up, and I'm like, wait, I didn't do that. Okay. Let's get on to Smitty, the fisherman.
All right.
Smitty, thank you for the super chat. Although I don't see a question attached to it. Let's see if we see one. I don't see one. All right, so Smitty, I definitely will recognize that name. If we see one from you, a question, we'll definitely put it up. So hang tight. All right. And yes, we are still catching up to super chats. If you did super chat in the past hour, don't worry. We're going to answer your questions for sure. Nemesis breaks. Thoughts on a Doomsday droppable? It's a 10-man half PPR.
I mean, in a 10-team league, he's like borderline droppable depending on who's out there. Like I wouldn't drop him to pick up like Rico Dowdle or somebody like that, or even like Jordan Whittington. But if there's somebody pretty good, like if Deontay Johnson's on the waiver wire, Terry McLaurin, even probably Christian Kirk, I would drop him for guys like that.
Yeah, generally speaking, a 10-man league, he's droppable. And look, you have JJ Wilson, Evans, JSN. Unless it's, hopefully none of these guys get hurt, but unless it's a heavy bye week or something, you're not starting him. So don't drop him just to drop him. But if you need somebody, that's fine. He's droppable. Dale, 1 flex, 3 Browns. Cooper, Ford, or Foreman?
It's Cooper. He's just got way more upside than these guys. I'll gamble on Cooper this week.
Yeah, I don't think Foreman is really somebody you want to just roll out there based on last week. So Cooper it is. Seahawks or Chiefs defense?
I think you got to go Seahawks at home against Skylar Thompson. That should not scare you in the least.
No. Seahawks, again, great example of why you don't need to just keep whatever defense plugged in every week. Seahawks, great upside. For as inefficient as Kirk Cousins has been, it's not like he's throwing pick sixes left and right. Chiefs defense is fine, but go Seahawks, more upside. All right, Joker is in the house. Full PPR, needs 2 flexes. Chuba or Deontay? Well, I guess he's just saying it's a 2 flex league, so I think he's clarifying this is his second flex.
Yeah, in PPR, I'm gonna lean Deontay. I mean, we're talking about same offense here. Chuba's fine, but in PPR, give me Deontay.
Yeah, full PPR, go Deontay. Maybe this is it. Maybe this is the week. All those Deontay shares will pay off. J1364 just joined the membership. Thank you, Jay. Appreciate that. We'll definitely try to answer our members' questions as well. But next super chat goes to Troy Black. Pick 3 in full PPR. Adams, Godwin, Rice, Ayuk, JSN.
Oh, man. Honestly, I can easily eliminate JSN. I think you got to start Adams and Godwin this week. But I think you also have to start Ayuk.
That's what I'm thinking.
I think Rice is going to have to be on the bench, man. As tough as it is to put Rice on the bench. I mean, you have such good options. I think it's Adams, Godwin, Ayuk.
Yeah, based on individual matchups here, I don't mean, player to player. I mean, just defensive scheme. Godwin could have a monster week this week. Ayuk should have a monster week, obviously. Depot and Kittle both out. You got to start Ayuk, I think. And then Adams was playing the Panthers.
Yeah.
Just go with that. I love Jason this week, and how do you sit Rice? But you know what, Troy? You're in a very good position because you can do that.
Yeah, right.
Brother Charles Johnson. All right, PPR 12 team needs a flex. Zeus or Keon Coleman?
You might as well just go Zamir White here, even in PPR. Keon Coleman, 1 target last week. Now they're going to have to throw more than they did last week, almost certainly. But still, what's the upside? Like, you're just hoping Keon Coleman scores, right? Zamir White could score. It's the Panthers. I'm going Zamir White.
You're a Raiders fan. You want Zamir in there when he has his big game. You got to pick him No, but besides that, Keon Coleman, it's going to be a while, guys. It's going to be a while before you can really trust him in fantasy. Just go for the upside of Zeus getting those touches. Just hope he actually gets those touches. All right. Just shout out Isaac is in the house. Isaac K. He's always with us. It is the most wonderful time of the week. Almost.
Yes.
Oh, if you're a college fan, it's definitely a good time of the week as well. It's also a good time, by the way. This is a good chance that we're about halfway through to remind you that if you are a fan of either college or NFL, you should check out Underdogs. You can do picks for both NFL games that are happening tomorrow and college games are going on right now or about to go down. You can do picks for almost any player that you might actually even recognize on both sides of the ball for any of these teams. And I'm not exaggerating. There's so many picks to choose from. So check it out. And if you, for some reason, have not tried Underdog yet, right now, if you sign up as a new customer, you get the free pick of Pat Mahomes just getting 1 yard, but you have to use code NGAME. That gets you that free pick plus your deposit match up to $1,000 of bonus cash in your account. So again, Underdog, been partners with them for a while. Great site. If you haven't tried it, this is a great time to do it. Get your picks in for tomorrow's slate or just for today. All right, let's get to Nick Walker, next super chat. Reminder also, if you did super chat in the past hour, we're going to get to you. We have not forgotten you or ignored you. We're just playing catch up. All right, Nick Walker. St. Brown, Devontae, Harrison, Shaheed, Shakir. I'm going to assume you need more than one of these guys.
I sure hope so. I sure hope you don't only need one of these guys. I'll just rank them for you, Nick. St. Brown, Devontae. Actually, I'm just going to rank them in the exact order you listed them. That's my ranking right there. You got it.
Yeah. I mean, you have, I guess, 3 must starts, but that would be the order. You got to start St. Brown, Devontae, and there you go. You don't have to start Shaheed if you have those 3. All right. Now, Nick also needs defense. Raiders, Bears, or Niners?
Let's see. Niners against, I mean, you should feel pretty good, but wow, isn't Nick Bosa maybe going to miss? Isn't there something with Nick Bosa?
I don't know if he's missing. I know he was on the report, but I'm not sure.
49ers, George Kittle doubtful, Nick Bosa questionable. And the Bears, who the Bears play this week?
They get the Colts.
I don't know. I'd probably still just go the Raiders against the Panthers, even with Andy Dalton.
Yeah, I don't think we can feel great. This again, if anybody drafted, like reached a round or two or whatever, drafted the Niners defense early because they're elite. No, not so much. I don't feel great about the Niners this week, even though Stafford, is missing those 2 weapons. He's not a guy who's going to probably throw 3 interceptions. And I like the Bears. Their defense has been good. Richardson could turn the ball over, get some sacks. Raiders are probably the safest pick, though. So I think Raiders and then Bears would actually be my second choice. All right, remember Jay got that membership. Let's do this. Needs 2 from Judy, Dell, and D-Rob.
I mean, again, I think Judy is fine this week. I think he'll get you some points, but let's shoot for a little more upside with Dell and Demarcus Robinson.
It's all about upside. That's the name of the game. Let's go with that. Judy doesn't quite have it yet. I mean, we're still a little hesitant on Amari Cooper, right? How great can you feel about Judy? So right. Dell and Robinson. All right, and then speaking of members, we got Sean Pittman. Just became a new member. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate that.
Thanks, Sean.
All right, so Sean, if there's a question here for you, we'll put it up. But let's go to the next super chat. And here's Smitty the Fisherman. Henry or Flowers?
I think I just go Flowers either way here. Maybe in non-PPR I go Henry, but I think in half or PPR I'm going Flowers.
Agree. And this is the game for Baltimore. You're wondering, I think this matters game script, right? Baltimore's barely been running ahead, and you figure that they might not be in this game. So go Flowers. And then you got Sharps, B-Rob, Etienne, Evans, Dobbins, Flowers. Pick 2.
Again, assuming PPR, I'm going Evans, Flowers. If it's completely non-PPR, I might go Evans, Etienne.
Yeah, it doesn't say. Man, I mean, if it's PPR, I'm going with the receivers. It might not be the best Evans week, but I can't just sit Evans, right? Can't sit Evans.
Can't.
If it's non, I think you can put Dobbins in there over Evans. But I think in this group, I think Sharp and B-Rob can definitely fall by the wayside. I guess if it's non-PPR, it's Etienne and Dobbins, right?
I don't know. I think even in non-PPR, I still go Evans because he has such
touchdown
so
upside.
much touchdown upside on any given week.
Yeah. Well, Smitty, we're gonna assume it's either half or full PPR, so just go with those receivers, Evans, Flowers.
Yeah.
Gab, 06, Goff or Baker.
I think I still go Baker. I mean, Goff, I know against the Cardinals, it's pretty good, but Goff hasn't looked that good so far. Baker's looked pretty good. Not worried about the Broncos defense outside of like Pat Surtain. So I think I'm still going Baker. He's at home too, so let's go Baker.
There you go. We were tricked by home Goff last week not being good. I wonder if we'll be tricked by road Goff actually being good because they might have to pass the ball a lot to keep up with the Cardinals. But I'm going to go with the matchup being better for Baker. And look, Baker showed last week he did something Goff doesn't do. He ran in a touchdown. He does scramble and get you some rushing yards. So go with Baker. The right now second place in the MVP race behind Derek Carr. Nocturnal Gaming, welcome back. Evan Ingram is out. Just going with Strange.
Yeah, and you can drop Kareem Hunt. He's not even playing this week. You can, if you really want Kareem Hunt on your roster, you can pick him back up next week. He's not even playing this week.
Yeah. Look, you made a point of picking him up. Maybe you dropped some fab on him. I think Dobbs is droppable right now, but I agree. You don't need Kareem Hunt. Anyway, don't have time to get into that. But we talked about that quite a bit on Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah.
All right. Here's Sean Pittman's question. Just got that membership given. Grade the trade. Got the Mahomes worthy stack for Kyler Ridley.
I think I'm just taking Kyler and Ridley. I mean, Mahomes is going to get better. There's no doubt about that. And Worthy will probably get better too. But I don't feel like the difference between Mahomes and Kyler is going to be that big. And I'd rather just have the wide receiver that's not going to need time to develop as a rookie. So I'm just going to take Kyler and Ridley.
You got to be feeling great about Kyler. You and I, we said it over and over and over this preseason. You do not have to be the first to take a quarterback. You can get top 5, maybe higher, upside in a guy like Kyler Murray in the middle rounds. And he's showing he might have his best season yet. And I like Ridley. I think Ridley will at least be as good as Worthy. So, yeah, grade it. I don't know. Hard to say A, but B+, A-.
Yeah, I mean, it's good for you. I don't know if I could put a grade on it, but it's a good deal for you.
Right. All right, Sun AAA. In half, Pickens, Akers, or Higgins?
I mean, I can definitely eliminate Akers from this. It's either Higgins or Pickens. Oh, man. Oh, my gosh. I mean, it's just you've been burned by T before. I mean, I guess if you don't, I think if it's me, I'm going T Higgins just because it's Commanders. But if you're like, I don't even want to deal with the potential T Higgins nonsense, which I get, Pickens is fine too.
My heart says Pickens. My head is telling me also just stick with Pickens because he's clearly the number one. Again, I feel like he could have a big game. I'm not scared of this matchup this week. It's the Chargers. And like you said, it's not an absolute guarantee that T will smash. I know in the most situations you'll start T, but I don't feel bad about Pickens here. It's one of those guys, either one. But hockey PC, pick one: Ford or White. Zamir White.
I still got to go Rashad White.
This is Zamir White versus Carolina.
Oh, I was gonna say, I'm like, they don't play Carolina. That's right, Zamir White. Okay, no,
Yeah.
I gotta go Ford here. I gotta go Ford. I'm not like worried that that random game last week where Deontay Foreman got more involved that now Ford's hardly gonna touch the ball. It's a good matchup for them against the Giants. He gets receptions. I'm still going Ford.
Right. Maybe with Zeus, we'll see, but I want to get some points. Let's go with Ford. I think he's fine. Let's see. Next super chat, which by the way, we're gonna have to probably stick to the super chats for a little while till we get more caught up. Antonio Carrion got offered Rashad White for Braylon Allen.
I'm taking Rashad White here. He's still the RB1 in Tampa. Even last week when he was like dealing with that groin injury, he still had more touches than Bucky Irving. He's pretty much the only one that runs routes. Like Bucky Irving does not run routes, so he's going to still catch passes. Even if Braylon Allen starts to carve out a bigger role, he's still going to be behind Breece Hall. So if I can get Rashad White for Braylon Allen right now, I'm taking Rashad White.
Yeah, take Rashad White. Not a bad choice at all. Michael Siavong, D-Rob Jennings, Steele, Waddle, Jaden Reed, one flex.
Man. I mean, I literally, I'm looking at my sheet. It's like Jalen Waddle, Juwan Jennings, Demarcus Robinson are all like three bunched together.
I mean, with this group, I can say you don't need Jennings. Reed is just not worth it, right?
No.
I don't think I can put. This is PPR. I'm not going to put Steele over those receivers.
No.
So it's D-Rob or Waddle.
Yeah. I mean, can I really bench Waddle for Demarcus Robinson?
I think I might. Maybe I'm too worried. Maybe I'm too pessimistic on Skylar Thompson. But it's also not just that. It's also Robinson. Again, the number one receiver for whatever it's worth there. We were big on Robinson in the preseason.
Yeah, I know, but I always worry about these situations. Like, is he going to be the number? Like, does his role change? Like, does Demarcus Robinson have value if Puka or Kupp is out, but not if both are out? You know what I mean? Now it's like,
right,
because they don't view Robinson like, sure, if Puka's out, they say, okay, you're the wide receiver, you're but if Kupp is out, okay, your role elevates. When they're both out, they're like, okay, we're running a whole new offense now. We got to run a whole new offense. But
based around Jordan Whittington.
Yeah, maybe it's Sean McVay. You never know, but
yeah,
man, Skylar Thompson. I guess just go Demarcus Robinson. I guess.
Yeah, risky either way, but it's one of those two. Michael, I give the slight edge to Robinson. All right, so I lied. We're gonna do a quick impromptu lightning round. Let's get to Miguel Cordovez, one of our guys. Hubbard or Akers, PPR?
I'll just go Akers. He's in the better offense.
Agree. Go Akers. And then Hisoka's revenge. Drop Naylor for Jalen Wright to Guillotine League.
No, I'd rather just start Naylor this week, honestly.
Well, yeah. I mean, league like this, you need help now, not later. Just keep Naylor. Anakin Skywalker, Dell or Kyron?
Kyron. I still got to go Kyron. Kyron's still getting that. Like, his usage is great. I know the results haven't been there yet, but his usage is great.
Yes. Got to go Kyron. And then what about Sean Dungan? Worthy or Akers?
I mean, Akers is. I hesitate to call Akers safe, but Akers is your floor play here. Worthy is your boom bust. I mean, but like Worthy not. His usage is more boom than bust, so I might just still go Akers.
Right. This really depends what you're looking for. Worthy could get a long touchdown, or he could do what he did last week. So Akers is fine. Philly Freak, BTJ Worthy or Shakir?
I think I might go Shakir, honestly. I'm not feeling a big Brian Thomas Jr. game this week against the Buffalo secondary. Again, Worthy is just big player bust. Give me Shakir.
I thought you might go Worthy on this one. Just say, hey, let's see what he gives you. I might go Worthy on this one. See what he gives me.
I don't like what I'm seeing from Worthy right now. He's just basically run deep. That's basically his role. Run deep.
Yeah, that's kind of what we figured. Shakir for floor, Worthy for ceiling. All right, let's get to the super chats though again, and it's Sal Palumbo is next. Full PPR needs 2 Neighbors, Cooper, Waddle, JSN. This is an interesting group.
I mean, honestly, I can eliminate Waddle, sadly. It's between JSN, Cooper, Neighbors. I mean, I'm not feeling a big Neighbors game, but at least we know Neighbors is getting the targets. So I'd probably go Neighbors, and then JSN Cooper is so close. Maybe I feel slightly better about JSN. So Neighbors and JSN.
I'm good with that. I like JSN this week. I think he could be totally fine. This might sound weird, but I feel like Neighbors is more of the floor play here. I think he'll get you something, but not a big game. Cooper, who knows? I don't know. Just take a shot on Cooper and see what happens. You don't feel like if you can't stomach another bad Cooper game, then go Neighbors. And then Daniels or AR.
I think you still got to go Anthony Richardson.
Yeah,
not expecting another 3 interception game from AR.
No, don't love the matchup, but he always has rushing upside. No, Daniels does too, but I'm sticking AR. Cerulean Dog, just drop on the sticker. Thank you. As always. Mo. Lawrence, Gino, or Cousins?
I'm going Gino here. At home against the Dolphins. I don't want T-Law on the road in Buffalo. Cousins on the road in KC. Nah, give me Gino.
Give me Gino. Bad matchups for the other two. Good matchup for Gino. Here's the other thing. Kenneth Walker out. They're going to be like last week, right? Going to throw the ball a lot more. Charbonnet is not really helping them establish that run. Coop, Neighbors, Ridley. We're going to get like 5,000 Amari Cooper questions.
I guess tomorrow I got to put like Amari Cooper. And I had Carson Steele on there, but man, I guess I got to put Cooper or Malik Neighbors on the thumbnail for tomorrow. Again, I think I'm just going. I mean, oh man, Ridley. Like these guys are all like the same to me. Like,
I don't want to overreact to last week, and I'm not talking about Malik Neighbors or Amari Cooper. I think Ridley is solid. He's just locked in there in that alpha role for the Titans. I think I feel the best about Ridley this week and just going forward.
I mean, maybe I'm too low on Ridley, but I feel like this may be an overreaction to last week. Because again, I mean, it's not like okay, he scored a rushing touchdown, but I'm never banking on that again this year.
Well, no.
And he had that deep touchdown. I mean, he only has a 21% target share this year. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I could tell you to bench Neighbors after last week, but I guess Ridley maybe is safer. Ridley's probably safer.
This is really a toss-up. Really toss-up. All right. I'm leaning Ridley. You're leaning Neighbors? mean, I don't mind.
No, I mean, okay, look, if it's my team, I'm putting Cooper in. I'm putting Cooper in.
Oh, well, that's
because I'm shooting for that week winner. I'm shooting for a guy who
right.
look at, I'm not saying Cooper is going to have an Alvin Kamara game, but if you had Alvin Kamara last week, does it even really matter who the rest of your team was? As long as the rest of your team wasn't total trash, you probably won your matchup.
Right.
I think Cooper is the one guy out of these three that have that kind of upside. Yeah, he's got a lot of risk too. So I'm putting him in my lineup because if this is the week, then it's like, cool, I won this week. It's, you know what I mean? I win. See you next week. But I realize that I'm answering a question for Mo, and this is Mo's team, and I have to also take some responsibility. If I tell Mo to start Cooper and Cooper gets 4 points again, I'm going to feel bad for Mo's team. If I do it, I'm like, oh, well, I took a chance and it didn't work out. This is literally my attitude. I took a chance. It didn't work out. I move on. But this is Mo's team, so I have to think about Mo. And I don't want Mo to be upset with me on Sunday night if Cooper only gets like 4 points and Neighbors and Ridley go off. So
Neighbors wouldn't do that. He wouldn't do that. Yeah, I get it. And sure, it's going to happen. But guess what? Every single player you put in your lineup, you're taking a chance that they do nothing because we don't know. This is why we have these questions. They're all tough questions. Shoot for the upside. There you go. It's Cooper. This is why we'll say floor, this guy, ceiling, this guy. What do you want? You feel so good about your team that you just want to play it safe and take a guy who should get you a few points, or you do need that upside. So upside's Cooper, if not really. Silicon Valley Athletics, welcome back. Good morning. Yeah, that's right. You've been with us for a couple of years. All right, so got to get it right. Would you start Ford or Zeus?
I'm still going Ford. Again, I'm not like completely out on Ford because Foreman got more carries last week. I mean, he probably got more touches too, but it's still a really good matchup for Ford this week against the Giants. I think he gets plenty of touches this week. I'm going Ford.
I mean, I could say maybe White has more upside, but man, we got to see much more than what we've seen so far. So there's some cases I could start Zamir White, but Ford's got a good matchup. I will know at least I'll get some points from Ford, so I'll still stick with Ford. All right.
And by the way, just a quick update, not a shock here, but the 49ers did officially announce George Kittle out, so whatever little hope there were, it's gone.
It's gone. All right. Well, there you go. Silver 22 with Kittle out. Drop Demarcus Robinson, Debo, Chase Brown, Dowdle, or Eckler for a tight end likely Parkinson, Strange, or Gesicki.
You can drop Chase Brown or Dowdle. Don't drop those other guys. And I would pick up Strange.
Don't drop Debo.
No, yeah, definitely don't drop Debo. Either Chase Brown or Dowdle, either one is fine. I might lean Dowdle this week because, look, it is the Commanders. Maybe Chase Brown rips off a long run and then everybody's back trying to grab Chase Brown again because that's what people do. Like, oh my gosh, a 50-yard touchdown. You have to add him now. But so maybe I lean Dowdle, but either one of those guys are fine. And I'm picking up Strange now. Strange is the guy I'm going over Gesicki now that T is back.
Right. This is different. Gesicki was looking like the best tight end out there, but now all of a sudden T. Higgins is miraculously healed. So let's go Strange. I mean, Gesicki's fine too. Who knows? Yeah. But I think I feel solid about Strange. And then DST. Okay. Dallas, Vegas, Houston, Lions. Not the Lions. Or the Bengals.
The problem with the Bengals, even though you say Commanders, is the way that what they're asking Jaden Daniels to do. It's like turnovers are going to be hard to come by. So
and sacks too. Look, if there's one thing we can credit Kingsbury for, he's not turning the ball over. He's also not taking a ton of sacks.
Right. Like Kingsbury is just being like, look, snap the ball. If it's not there, don't force it. Yeah, take off. Don't force it. Throw it away. Whatever. I'll just go Raiders here. I'll go Raiders.
Yeah, definitely not starting Detroit. Look, Baltimore's been a little disappointing on offense, but I'm not starting Dallas against them. Houston, yeah, just go Raiders. Houston was Houston. Houston gets the Vikings.
Yeah,
just go Raiders.
Yeah,
Country Connected is back. Monty, Najee, B-Rob, not what? We got 2 Najees.
I mean, even if you got double points from Najee, are you starting him over Monty or B-Rob? I don't think so.
Right. I don't know if you meant to put another player, but given this group, let's say bench both Najees, Monty and B-Rob. All right, let's get to Romney Santana. Hello, pick 1 receiver, 1 flex, and 1 tight end. You got D-Rob, Brian Thomas, Shakir, Pickens, and Zamir, and then a tight end.
All right, wide receiver flex. Pickens definitely going to be my wide receiver. I'm going to go DeMarcus Robinson at my flex. I guess likely at tight end. I mean, I know it feels like Parkinson should be the play, but we said that last week, and he wasn't the play at all. I guess likely at tight end is Brenton Strange out there? Because I'd prefer him over both these guys. You can drop, if he is, you could drop Parkinson for Strange.
Yep, that's what I do. Makes sense. So there you go, Pickens, Robinson, and maybe Strange. All right, Augustin Puente did drop a super chat. Here's the question. Got Joe Burrow, Barkley, Achane, Collins, Evans, Pitts, B-Rob, Steelers, Butker, and then the bench. Any changes here?
Nah. Nope. I like what you have. Stick with it.
Yeah, I think you're good. All right, Augustin, no changes for you. Joe wants to know, in a 10-teamer, would you flex Neighbors T, J-Mo, or McBride?
I can't. I'm not flexing McBride over these guys. I might just go Jameson Williams, honestly. I feel good enough. I don't think people realize Jameson Williams. Now, look, Amon-Ra St. Brown's first read percentage is insanely high. But Jameson Williams' first read percentage is even higher. He's got a 14 ADOT, a 24% target share, 279 air yards. I'm going Jameson Williams.
I think I'm good with that. Eliminate the risk. Don't feel Neighbors having a big game in this matchup. You eliminate the risk of T. Higgins pulling up lame after the second series. Just go Jameson. Right. I just can't pretend that it's not a possibility. Alan Timunovic, Swift or Akers?
I think it should be Swift. It's a Colts. They've given up 150 yards rushing 2 weeks in a row. But Swift and that offensive line looks so bad. I don't even know. Just that offensive line looks so bad. I think I'm just going to go Akers here.
Go Akers. Swift. I don't feel like it's him. I don't think it's Caleb Williams. People are like, oh, Caleb Williams looks terrible. Look, just watch what he has to do at every single drop back. Run for his life. It's that offensive line has been like the worst in the NFL. Just go Akers here. Frosty, what's up? Got offered B-Rob, Kirk, and McLaurin for Ridley and J-Mo. Needs an RB, but not liking it.
I mean, I think if you need an RB, it's fine. Like, there's still hope for Kirk and Terry. It's like we can't just give up on these guys after 2 games. You can't just say, oh, 2 games, that's it, they're bust, and like 2 games, Ridley and Jameson Williams are going to be great. I feel good enough about Brian Robinson just being a high upside RB2 the rest of the season. Like, what's going to change for Brian Robinson? Like, what's going to, Austin Eckler is not going to all of a sudden get more involved. They're not going to suddenly, abandon the run. He should be a high upside RB2 from now until the end of the season, assuming health, of course. And there's still potential for Kirk and McLaurin. So I think if you need a running back, it's fine.
I think it's fine. I mean, I would say right now, let's say rest of season going forward, forget what happened in the first 2 weeks. I feel like McLaurin and Ridley should be kind of comparable, right? They should be. I'm not saying they will be, they should be. And then Kirk, I'm not giving up on Kirk. So this could be a win for you. I would say for me, though, doing this, you say you need RB. I think this depends on your receiving core, though. If are Ridley and Jameson Williams both in your starting lineup, like, every week? If that's the case, it's very risky for you. But if they're both like your third receiver or flex option, then I think this is probably going to help you. Trone, Force, Flex, Terry, D-Rob, or Lad?
Might as well just go to Marcus Robinson until we see signs of life from Terry and Lad McConkey. I mean, even with a healthy Justin Herbert, what are we getting from Lad McConkey right now? Nah. D-Rob.
Go D-Rob until further notice. And then he also wants to know, would you drop Trey Benson for Tank or Corum?
No, I mean, at least Trey Benson is getting involved. And look, if Connor goes down, Trey Benson's going to be the guy. So I don't think Corum or Tank have any more upside than Benson right now. I'm just if you got Benson, just hold him.
I would have said Corum, preseason, early season, but I think right now we just have to say the Cardinals are a better offense than the Rams. Even if Kupp and Puka both come back healthy, I think this offensive line still has some issues. So I think right now I would just keep Trey Benson. AV, not the first AV. This is, what was it? Something Vato?
Yeah, something Vato. Dang, I told you I wouldn't remember. You said you'd remember, though.
I remember the Vato. Okay. AV, drop any of these running backs or Watson. No, don't drop Watson. Will you drop Javonte or Warren for downs?
I'm not dropping Javonte. I know he's been terrible, but the touches are there. Maybe Warren. I mean, what's the upside for Jalen Warren? Yeah. I might drop Warren for downs.
I think you could drop Warren.
Yeah, anonymous Vato. That's right. Anonymous.
Anonymous. Okay. See, that's why we didn't remember, because it was anonymous.
Yeah. I can't expect us to remember that. It's anonymous.
That's funny. All right. This is Ligma Havers. Okay. Zamir White or P. Ryan?
Okay, here I'll go Zamir White. I mean, it's the Panthers. If he gets the touches, he should be good. P. Ryan, I don't think P. Ryan's role is going to change. I think he's still going to be like the, hey, go out there and maybe catch a pass guy. That's it. So give me Zamir.
Sure, he could score a touchdown because he's on the Chiefs offense. So could Carson Steele. So could the backup offensive lineman. So could MVS. Who? No. All right, MVS not even on the Chiefs anymore. But Justin Watson, who goes? Goes Zamir White. All right, Rodney Woods, thank you for the super chat. Sorry to make you wait, but we're still getting there, catching up. So Rodney is in a standard PPR. Okay, so I guess PPR. 2 running backs, 3 receivers, a tight end, and 2 flex. You got Barkley, Henry, DJ Moore, Higgins, Odunze, Diggs, Dobbs, Jalen Tolbert, Alec Pierce, Mike Gesicki, Freiermuth, Monty, Gus, Bateman. Any trade ideas? Should he pick up Strange?
Yeah, I'm dropping Gesicki for Strange. I just am. I'm a little worried for. I mean, I think Gesicki's still streamable, but the upside is probably a little limited with T, unless T is going to pull another fast one on us, which is possible. Barkley, Henry at running back. DJ Moore, Higgins. I guess more Higgins at wide receiver. You need 3 wide receivers. I think I still go Diggs over Odunze and Tolbert and Pierce. But I'm going to flex Monty. I don't really like Odunze, Dobbs, Tolbert. Like Pierce, if you want to gamble. But I probably just flex Monty. So Barkley, Henry, Moore, Higgins, Diggs, Monty at the flex, Strange at tight end. And this is not, I mean, the best time to trade Stephon Diggs was after week 1, but he still has name value. This isn't a bad time to trade Diggs. The problem is you're kind of light at wide receiver right now.
Yeah, again, I'm thinking this Bears offense will get better. I think it's okay to hold on to DJ Moore. Eventually, you'll be fine starting him. He'll have some sort of a ceiling. So I don't love starting him, but you're fine with him now. But like you said, Diggs might be the one you want to try to upgrade from. But as far as the lineup, I'm good with everything you said. So you can pick up Strange. Gesicki looked like a great streamer early in the season, and early this week, I should say. Things don't change. All right, Jerry Parado, trade ideas. Needs an RB. Outsiders of Kyron and Bijan have Ayuk, Del Metcalf, Monte Smith, J-Mo, Higgins, and Worthy.
Yeah, you can definitely go out and get a wide receiver. Running back. You have some good wide receivers. It might not be a bad idea to try to trade T. Higgins right now that he's back and he's playing the Commanders and people are excited about him, because if he does go out there and pull a fast one on us, then everybody's going to be like, nope, don't want that guy. So, you don't really you got Kyron and Bijan, so it's not like you're hurting at running back, but if you're just looking for some depth, like I could trade, like maybe you could get Kenneth Walker for T. Higgins right now because he's hurt. Maybe Brian Robinson. People still not very high on him. People still not very high on Tony Pollard. He'd be another guy to be targeting at running back.
Yeah, I'll agree. And I'll just say on your team, like there's certain guys I'm not trading because it's just not worth it. You're not going to get enough back. And I just don't want to trade him. Like Devontae Smith, I'm not trading right now. Ayuk, there's no reason to trade him right now. DK Metcalf, I'm just holding those guys. So if you're going to make a trade here, which you should, trade a guy like Higgins, of course. You can trade Dell if people still want him. You can trade J-Mo if you really get a good running back, but only those guys, not your guys who are going to be better than people think. All right, Zach Ames, Ridley Diggs, Rashad White, Pittman. We need 2.
All right, here I can pretty easily go Ridley.
You said Pittman.
These guys all feel like floor plays. Just 3 floor plays. I will say, though, Rashad White does get the Broncos. They still haven't been good. They're not as bad against the run as they were last year, but they're still bad against the run. I still think he's going to get the bulk of the touches. I do think he'll catch more passes than last week. I probably go Ridley White.
Yeah, nervous about Pittman again. Not even about the injury report, just usage, bad matchup. So White for floor, Diggs for potential touchdown upside. No, Ridley's the first one. Yeah, Ridley's the first one. Okay, I got to throw this up. This is an interesting one. Josue Hidalgo is with us a lot. Would you go Jalen Naylor over Jalen Waddle?
No, this is too deep for me. I'm still going Waddle.
Yeah. I'm big on Naylor this week as a sleeper, as a potential flex. I'm down on Waddle based on what he should be, which is a wide receiver 2, no doubt. It still doesn't match up, right? I'm not that much higher on Naylor and that much down on Waddle. So interesting thought. Maybe it happens, but I'm still starting Waddle over Naylor. PM Chunk. Sad question, but maybe not. Whittington or Naylor?
Oh. I think I got to go Naylor. We've actually at least seen Naylor involved catching touchdowns. We really have not seen Whittington involved yet too much, so I'm going to go Naylor.
These are both actually really interesting flex streaming options. Honestly, if you're doing this, it's because you're hurting, right? Like you lost Debo or AJ Brown or something. But this is tough. Maybe this is the Whittington breakout performance, but I'm going Naylor, the guy who we've seen do it for 2 weeks in a row. I like Naylor. But this is an interesting question here. Definitely could go either way. Chunk. Drew King, half PPR, got Ridley Likely, probably Jameson Williams, Keon Coleman, Hubbard, Pierce. Oh no. Well, if you're saying drop a ball, I'm guessing that's Javonte Williams. Here are the starters: Daniels, London, Rice, Taylor, Jacobs, Kincaid, Rashad White.
I don't really feel like any of these guys are droppable. Obviously, it depends who you're going to pick up. If there's somebody really good on the waiver wire, like again, if somebody's like, I'm done with Terry McLaurin, drop. I'm done with Christian Kirk, drop. I'm done with Deontay Johnson, drop. Then sure, I could drop Chuba or Alec Pierce for those guys. I mean, I could drop a lot of these guys for those guys, honestly. But I don't feel like any of these guys are must drops. It really comes down to who you're picking up.
He's asking who's droppable. I'm going to guess he's needing to pick up somebody. So like who, if you had to drop somebody, I guess who would be the one you would drop? I mean, I think like Pierce and even Coleman are not must holds. It would be one of those two.
Actually, I think the one I would drop is Isaiah Likely because I'm probably never starting Isaiah Likely over Dalton Kincaid.
That's true.
So he's probably the one I'm dropping.
Yeah. There you go. Like, don't give up on Kincaid yet. So you can drop Likely. Teddy. All right. Well, I think we already said Jaylen Warren is droppable. You probably want to start London here.
Yeah, definitely London over Warren. Definitely.
All right. C. Hicks, pick 2. Judy Cooper. I guess Quentin Johnston or Dortch.
Cooper for sure out of this group. I mean, you don't want both Browns wide receivers, I'm guessing. I know I don't want both Browns wide receivers. I'll probably go Cooper and Dortch if he plays. If for some reason Dortch doesn't play, I guess I'll just gamble on Quentin Johnston, although I really don't love the matchup this week.
Man, can you start 2 Browns receivers at once? Is that even possible? It could be. I don't know. Are we really starting Quentin Johnston? Is that possible? I guess just go with the Browns is what I would do. Just see what happens. I don't think I could start Dortch. Which, by the way, not getting to the point where I'm seeing the chats from a while ago saying where my super chat, guys. If you did put a super chat anytime in the past hour, we have not skipped it or forgotten it. It did not disappear. We're just still getting there. So hang with us. If you super chatted, we are definitely going to answer your questions. So just listen up for your name. Next is Jesus Tapia, another one. Start 2, Pickens, London, Diggs.
First 2 for me. Let's try to get some upside here.
Pickens in London, another league, flex 1, Hubbard or D-Rob.
Again, D-Rob, let's actually get some upside in our lineup. DeMarcus Robinson.
Yes. And then Juice got the membership. Should I put Kirk over Jennings because of Evan Ingraming out?
I mean, did that really help Kirk last week?
Exactly.
Yeah, I'll go Jennings.
Yeah, Ingram wasn't there last week, and all they did was just throw to the backup tight end. So I'm not giving up on Kirk, but I don't think you have to start him either. Johnny Camarena, pick 3, Metcalf, Adams, Moore, JMO, or Godwin. Pick 3.
I think you got to go Metcalf, Adams, and Godwin. I can easily scratch off DJ Moore. I do like Jameson, but not over these guys. Metcalf, Adams, and Godwin.
Godwin is absolute must start. Metcalf next. Adams. Man, Williams is a possibility, but I think you got to start Adams. All right, and then Mac P. He's 0-2. Don't panic. Mahomes, Hall, Kyron, Moore, Dell, Laporta, Mason. Got AJB on the bench. Got Carr on the bench. I think that's good. Reed, Thielen, Likely, Addison, QJ, Higgins. I'm
putting Higgins in over DJ Moore. I assume that's DJ Moore, or at least over. Actually, I might put him in over.
over Dell.
Yeah, I might put him in over Dell. At least DJ Moore will guaranteed to get you something. You can't have another week of Dell getting you nothing. Higgins in over Dell, but everything else looks good. That AJ Brown injury hurts for sure.
Yep. I think that's a good idea. You might as well go with Higgins. Go for that upside. DJ Moore will still be involved. Odunze is playing, but Keenan Allen is out, so should be good for him. All right, Will, flex full PPR likely or Shakir?
Shakir. I mean, likely was a nice story for week 1, but he may just, barring a Mark Andrews injury, Isaiah Likely may go down as one of those guys who we forget about. Like, and then next year we're like, hey, remember last year when Isaiah Likely went off week 1? Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that. You know what I mean? One of those guys. So Shakir,
the week 1 wonder, the fab burner, the guy who
you
thought was going to be a league winner and then wasn't. Every year there's at least one, right?
Yep.
Brandon Sky said he traded Tyreek for Chase and Walker.
Oh, I got to give this a good trade. I know Walker's hurt right now, but I mean, Tyreek for Chase, that right there is pretty comparable, but you also get Kenneth Walker just thrown in, like it's just a throw in, like, take Kenneth Walker too. Like, yeah, that's a big win for you. Big win.
This is like an A. I mean, yeah, and it's funny because, don't trade Tyreek. Don't sell low on him. You get Jamar Chase. This is a big win. That's not just good. It's great. Kilo. J.K. London, Ridley, which two?
Can I really tell you to sit Dobbins? I mean, this certainly looks like the week. This is like the make or break week for Dobbins. If he goes out there and runs wild against the Steelers, that's it. It's like all in on Dobbins. But he could go out there and get completely shut down by the Steelers. But at the same time, like, what is London? Even with that touchdown last week, I mean, you look at Drake London right now, the numbers just aren't good. Like a 7.9 ADOT, 79. He's got 79 air yards through 2 games, 18% target share. Just go Dobbins and Ridley, I guess.
That's exactly my gut reaction to this was just go with JK again and go Ridley. It wasn't for that last minute drive with the London touchdown. He's a huge bust last week. So not out on London. Look, after this week, maybe he's a good buy low, but this week you can go JK and Ridley. And Brian Hutchins needs a flex in a 10-team full PPR. Metcalf, B-Rob, Ford, or London.
Only flex on one of these, I think it's got to be Metcalf. He's just way above these guys to me.
Yeah, this one's easily going to be Metcalf. Austin, Swink, Higgins or Ford?
I'm going Higgins. Let's gamble. I mean, Ford is fine. Ford will get you points, but if Higgins is 100% against Commanders, I'm playing Higgins.
You might as well. Ford is fine, but you want upside. Go Higgins. And I'm just noticing this, so we're going to continue with the super chats. Darren Hill. So guys, reminder here. I mean, we got a ton of super chats still lined up, so we're trying to get to those because, of course, you guys use that for a reason. But we will answer as many as we can. We might do a quick lightning round here for some non-super chats as well. But again, let me remind you that if you don't or can't or won't do the super chat feature, we do have an app, and it's called Draft Lane. And if you download it, it's free, App Store, Play Store. And if you want to use those features and you're like, I don't know, I don't want to pay for that either. Well, here we go. You get a $10 credit. You can ask your first couple of questions basically for free, getting a $10 credit to use if you are new. This is not going to last all year, though, so limited time. All we're asking is check it out, see what it's like. It does sync your Yahoo and your Sleeper leagues. And I know Brandon's saying it works for Yahoo Sleeper. Yes, it doesn't work for ESPN because ESPN does not play nice and they don't want to let us use their API, whatever. That's their thing. It's not ours. So sorry, it won't link your ESPN leagues, but you can still use it just to ask questions. And we are planning to add more sites as well in the future. And this is just the start of it. We got some big plans, but it's already getting a lot of good feedback. Glad you guys have been using it. We're going to answer a bunch of questions on the Draft Lane app as soon as we're done here. So if you want to try it out, go and check out Draft Lane on the App Store, Play Store. It's free, and you get that $10 credit if you download it right now. And so let's do a very quick couple of the non-super chats just to make sure, try to answer as many as we can. Let's do Mario Oliveira, D-Rob or Jennings?
Very close here, but let's go to Marcus Robinson. He should be the wide receiver 1 versus Jennings the 2 or maybe 3.
Right. Yeah, Jennings solid, but D-Rob a little higher ceiling. Mark M to flex. Jamar Chase, Jaden Reed or Jason?
Mark. Look, I know Chase hasn't been great this year, but I cannot bench Chase. I'm not there. I'm not ready to bench Chase yet.
And he's just a flex to you. That's all he is to you. It's Chase. You got to start Chase, and you definitely don't want to start Jaden Reed this week, anyways. All right. What about Round Betty, Monty or Jason in full PPR?
In full PPR, I'm going JSN. Monty's fine, but give me the potential upside at JSN.
Yes, JSN in full. And then Sebastian Morelos, Jameson Williams or Drake London?
Gonna go Jameson Williams. His usage is actually better than Drake London, so give me Jameson.
Give me Jameson too. Megan Pickett, Dell, Brian Thomas, or Zach Moss?
I'm just gonna gamble on Dell. Gamble on the upside of Dell. I mean, look, Zach Moss should be fine this week. It's the Commanders. If you want to roll with him, if you want the floor, but I'm gonna go with the upside of Dell.
I'm not putting Moss. I'm assuming this is PPR. Just go Dell. Go Dell. All right, let's get to Adam Reed. Here's the lineup. He's saying he has to drop one. Has he got Likely? Got Laporta. Can we just drop Likely if you have Laporta?
Yeah, if I have Likely and I have an elite tight end, I'm not holding on to Likely. It's not like you're gonna feel better putting, like, if Laporta busts again this week, assuming Mark Andrews, of course, doesn't get hurt, then you're gonna really regret that you dropped Likely. Apologies if that happens. Let's hope that doesn't happen. But if Laporta busts this week, are you gonna, like, next week be like, oh, I just feel so much better about Likely? Like, what did he get last week? Like 3 catches or something? Like, yeah, drop Likely.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, even so, you're gonna just bench Laporta for Likely? I don't feel like this could be the Laporta week where he finally kind of busts out. So I think you can drop Likely. You don't have to hold Jalen Wright, but you have Achane. I think that's more important. If Achane gets hurt, you're really going to want Jalen Wright. You can drop Chase Brown, but you can also drop Likely. And by the way, I just noticed he's got Anthony Richardson. This is a 1 quarterback league. You got Jalen Hurts. You could probably trade Richardson.
Yeah.
That's a different thing. All right, Brandon Sky with another one. Here's the lineup. And the question is, am I doomed at 0-2?
You're far, far from doomed. Unless your team is, like, horrible, but nobody, I mean, how can your team be horrible right now? You got Goff, you got Etienne and Jacobs. That's good. Aaron Jones, Walker. Okay, you're good there. Marvin Harrison, Chase, Jameson. Now you're good. Gesicki, Chubb, McLaurin. I mean, yeah, I see why you're 0-2. You got some busts on your team, but you still have a lot of good players here. You're definitely not doomed. You're definitely not doomed.
No, it's still early. You got good players. You're definitely not doomed. Yeah, when Walker comes back, look, I would say this. You want to try a 2-for-1 thing, you could try to sell maybe Etienne and a Jameson for a stud receiver that you could buy low, like a Tyreek Hill. Maybe you can do that. Maybe something like that. Because then Walker comes back, Brooks in the second half. Yeah. All right. Vien Bateau. I said that. Traded Swift for Terry. Dub or L?
I never know on these things which side this means you're getting, but you know, for me, I'm just gonna take Terry McLaurin here. Like, it's much easier for the Commanders' offense, the Commanders' passing offense, to develop with a rookie and get better as the season goes on and start taking more downfield shots than it is for an offensive line to just miraculously get better, unless the offensive line is like missing a bunch of starters and then the starters come back. But like, what, like, are we expecting this Bears offensive line to just suddenly get better as the season, like suddenly get better? Like, so yeah, I'll take Terry here. I don't think it's necessarily a win or an L, but I'll take Terry.
Yeah, I'm assuming you're getting Terry. I would take Terry as well. You got two good running backs. I mean, obviously, Canine hurt, but still. Rate my team. I mean, I don't know who else you got on the bench. Obviously, you need somebody running back besides Swift now. If you got K9, you got good players though. I mean, Kelsey.
Yeah, I don't know how many teams are in your league, but I mean, you got Kelsey, you got Tank. I still believe in Tank, but it might be rough this week again. Wilson Brown, like a 7-5.
If it's a 12-teamer, yeah, I don't know what your RB depth is now, but you got some good starters. You can definitely compete. What about Anthony? Is now officially in the house. Good afternoon. Aaron Jones, Cortland Sutton, Carson Steele, or Michael Wilson?
Yeah, we all thought we were going to have Hollywood. That's unfortunate. I mean, first play of preseason, season's over. Dang. I think I go Aaron Jones here. I think he's a tier above these guys. Aaron Jones.
Yeah, I can't consider Wilson. I really don't want to roll out Sutton. Yeah, just go Aaron Jones here. Rodney Woods again. He's saying Goff is his quarterback. Let it ride. Or would you go Stafford, Fields, or Dalton?
No, I'll let it ride with Goff. Not Stafford, not Fields. Dalton is interesting, but you got to be in a pretty deep league for Dalton. Just give me Goff. It's the Cardinals. It doesn't scare me.
Yeah, I think Goff could still put up numbers. This could turn out to be a shootout like last week was supposed to be. Yeah, Dalton's maybe. Stafford, you can't feel good at all about Stafford. And Fields is just apparently no upside. He's going to have to run in a touchdown, but they're not even asking him to run that much. So just go Goff. James Johnson, the second. Ayuk or Dell, rest of season.
Ayuk for sure rest of season here by a lot.
Definitely. And I would say that even if Debo wasn't hurt, I think it would still be Ayuk.
Right.
Who's better in Dynasty?
Still Ayuk.
Agree with that. All right. Brandon Sky again. Drop Brooks or Chubb for Braylon Allen.
I'll drop Chubb for Braylon Allen. I think we see Jonathan Brooks before Chubb, and I think Jonathan Brooks gets more work than Chubb. So I'll drop Chubb for Braylon Allen.
Yep. I would too. Just talked about Brooks. Definitely a good hold. Don't know about Chubb. All right. I do know about Shrek 2 on DVD. See another time. PPR needs a flex. Sharp or Singletary?
It's got to be Charbonnet. I mean, they're both going to be workhorse running backs this week, but one's in the Giants offense, one's in Seattle's offense. One's going against Miami, one's going against the Browns. Give me Charbonnet.
Yeah, definitely going to go Charbonnet. Better matchup, better offense. You trust Ferguson this week? Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I trust him more than most tight ends out there. Like, again, I keep saying, like, name me the tight ends you trust. Why not just roll with Ferguson? He's healthy. He's in the Dallas offense. Why not?
Right. He's not even questionable. He's playing. He's in. He's good. Just go Ferguson. Cornelius Terry, welcome. Is anyone picking Cincy or Raiders defense this week?
Yeah, I think Raiders are fine, even though it's Dalton still. I mean, they still have Max. I know losing Kuntz is definitely a big blow, but they still have Max Crosby. They can still get sacks. Dalton can still turn the ball over. I'm not playing Cincy. I mean, Cincy's fine. Like, you don't have to worry about the Commanders, lighten up the Cincy defense. But at the same time, I just don't think they have any, like, a real ceiling here. Like, how many sacks and turnovers are they really going to get? So I'm going Raiders.
Yeah, Raiders should be totally fine. And then I think he's asking whether we play Juwan Jennings over Mike Evans this week.
No. Definitely not.
No, you can still roll with Mike Evans. Pretty much no questions asked. It may not be a monster week for him. Feeling better about Godwin, but I'm still putting Mike Evans in my lineup. Zach Mudd, 10-team half PPR, needs a flex. DJ Moore, Pittman, or Neighbors?
Just go Neighbors. I know it's not the best matchup this week, but I mean, you can't feel good about Pittman. You can't feel good about DJ Moore in this offense right now. Neighbors always has the potential to take like a short little slant and go 40, 50 yards for a touchdown. Go Neighbors.
Yeah, not feeling great about Pittman. Moore's fine, but I think Neighbors actually has a very similar floor. So in this case, you can go Neighbors. Jedi Koth. I mean, if it's Dobbins or, the answer's got to be Dobbins.
Yeah, you just got to roll with Dobbins for now. Got to.
All right. Well, maybe not over everybody, but over Ford, yeah, you can just go Dobbins. All right, let's get to Andy. Carr or Burrow?
Burrow. At home against Commanders, give me Burrow.
Got Burrow to boom. And look, I didn't even know T. Higgins was going to play. I really assumed he wasn't going to play, and I'm still in on Burrow this week. So I guess that just makes me feel better. Flex, Higgins, Moss, or B-Rob? I guess just go with the Burrow-Higgins stack, huh?
Let's do it. Burrow-Higgins, let's go.
Ride or die. That's the Commanders. I mean, come on.
Right.
Zach Bonick. Welcome, Zach. All right, so if you had to pick two rest of season, all right, put to the test. Terry, Dell, Cooper, Jason, Reed, Deontay in half.
I'm going JSN and Reed. Simply because, like JSN, I know JSN, maybe last week was not the start of the year 2 breakout. Maybe it was just an outlier, but I liked him for a year 2 breakout, so I'm going to bank on that. And then Reed, I think, is a great. I kind of regret that I kind of put him on the buy low video. I said, hey, like, Reed's a guy to watch because I don't think we're going to see Jordan Love till week 5, but now it looks like we might see him in week 4, which means the buy low window might close on Jaden Reed, but I still like Jaden Reed when Jordan Love comes back. So I'm going to go JSN Reed.
Yeah, preseason, I mean, I would have definitely said JSN. He was one of my favorite breakout candidates. And I might have said Deontay, but obviously things aren't quite the same for the Panthers. We'll see. I still have faith in him, but half PPR, I think he got to get pushed back. And Terry has definitely taken a hit. Man, I feel like it should be Cooper, but
yep.
Let's see it now.
Until Jameis Winston is a starter, can't be Cooper.
Do what?
I said until Jameis Winston is a starter.
Oh, I mean, if Jameis takes over, it's Cooper to the moon. But
yes,
let's go Jason and Reed for now. All right, we know Biggie Smalls is the illest. What about Figgy Smalls?
Look at this icon says Big Fig. I like it. Big Fig.
Big Fig, nice. Half PPR, Olave, Devontae, Hall, Connor, Mason, play MHJ, I guess, over one of those.
I mean, yeah, you should probably play Marvin Harrison. Man, how do you? I'm guessing you already played Hall. I hope. I don't know how many we're picking here. Are we doing? I'm going Hall and Mason at running back, so I hope you already played Hall. I'm going Olave and Smith at wide receiver. But yeah, you should try to play Marvin Harrison if you can.
I guess over Connor.
I mean, yeah, I would flex him over Connor. It's not a good spot for Connor this week.
I mean, I am interpreting this as he's got these guys in his lineup, and I guess Mason's the flex. So he's wondering if he should swap Harrison for one of those. So say swap Harrison for Connor.
Yeah. You can put
all right.
Harrison.
Jedi Koth is back. Was offered Waddle for Metcalf. Would you take Waddle?
Nah, just take Metcalf. You don't have to. Metcalf will be great this year, and you don't have to worry about Tua. You don't have to worry about Tua potentially, hopefully not, but potentially suffering another concussion if he does come back. You know what I mean? Just take Metcalf. I don't think you're gaining anything here.
No, I wouldn't do that. I mean, I doubt it. But if you could trade London for Waddle, I'd do it. But I don't know if you're getting that. Nando's World. Full PPR. Flex. Rashad White. Rashid Shaheed. Or Amari Cooper. Thank you. Love you too.
Yeah, thank you. Going Cooper. Again, White's fine this week. Sure, Shaheed could do it again, but I mean, he could also not do it again. I'm just going to go gamble on Cooper.
At full PPR, it's one of the receivers. I know it's hard to sit Shaheed, especially, I mean, I think this is, you're saying like JK, this is the week. Let's see if it's legit. I feel that way, honestly. Derek Carr and this whole offense, this passing offense, they should be able to rack up points against the Eagles just because the Eagles have a horrible secondary and they should be able to, play catch up or who knows, maybe they'll be ahead. But are we really banking on Shaheed doing it a third week in a row? That's the question. I know it's hard to look at the first 2 weeks where Cooper busted and Shaheed went off and even think about this, but it should be Cooper, right? It should be Cooper.
Yep.
All right. Trust Cooper. Okay, don't trust him, but take a chance. What about this one? Should Jeff go with Cooper or B-Rob?
Floor versus ceiling here. Brian Robinson gives you the nice, safe floor. Cooper gives you the very risky ceiling. I mean, look, if you have a team where you're like stacked or something and you just can't risk, like you just need a guy to get you some like 12 to 15 points, maybe even 18 if he scores or something like that, then go B-Rob. But
as solid as he's been, I'm okay going B-Rob here. But again, it depends on your need for upside here. So I think this is a tough choice. It's ceiling floor.
Yep.
All right, Francisco. I don't want to call you crazy, but this might be crazy.
There's no reason to worry about Achane. I mean, we're talking about a guy he's gotten 56% of the carries. He's got almost a 20% target share. Get 46 expected fantasy points through 2 games. Like, yeah, you just start Achane.
There's no way. I mean, look, I don't feel great about the Dolphins' chances to win this week. I don't feel great about like Waddle and the secondary passing options. I have no concerns. If anything, Achane is the one guy, you've been saying this, right, who might benefit. More dump offs to the running back, more ways to get him involved, more running. So you shouldn't start anyone over Achane, really. Damian B, full PPR, needs to flex 2 of these 4. Okay. Waddle, Najee, Jalen Naylor, Jalen Tolbert.
Waddle's still above these guys for me. I'm still going to go Waddle. I don't know. I might gamble on Tolbert, honestly, or even Naylor. Maybe Naylor. Oh, man. I mean, again, Najee, and then they just lost I just saw their rookie tackle who's playing great going on IR. So it hurts that O-line.
It's not Najee. There's not enough upside here. You're going for upside plays, right?
I mean, Tolbert.
I know you got to start Waddle.
The thing is with Tolbert, like he got really involved last week. But there's always the worry, was that just a 1-week thing? But we did hear good things about Tolbert all off season. But Naylor, I mean, I don't know. Maybe just go Naylor.
I like Naylor this week. I would go Waddle, Naylor. These are both your potential home run hitters, right? So there you go. Jedi Koth did re-up the membership. Got another one here in half. Start 2. Kyron, Achane, Shards, Dobbins, and Brian Robinson Jr. So we have to sit. I mean, I'm guessing it's either going to be Kyron, Achane, or Dobbins.
Yeah, I can't sit Kyron and Achane. I can't do it. I'm not there. I'm going Kyron and Achane.
Just finished saying you have to start Achane. I'm not going to sit Kyron for Dobbins. So yeah, it's the first 2. Paul Vendetti, Kyron or Pollard?
Again, I like Pollard this week, but I can't sit Kyron for Pollard.
Exactly.
It's not like Kyron has been bad. Am I missing something? Has Kyron been bad? He's got 85% of the carries. He's running 70% of the routes. 40 expected fantasy points through 2 games. That's 20 points per game. Like, what am I missing with Kyron? Just because the results haven't quite been there yet?
I think it's because the Rams have been bad because they're losing.
Well,
Cup and Puka are out, so everyone's like, "Oh, the Rams suck this year. They're gonna, the whole offense is gonna suck." It's a little too early. So I like Pollard to boom, but I'm not putting him over a guy like Kyron. So it's still Kyron here. JPC 1, 2, 3, Ford or Chuba?
yeah, I'm gonna go Ford. Better matchup against the Giants. I'm not fully convinced that Deontay Foreman is the lead back there or anything, so I'm gonna go Ford.
Agree. Go Ford. Drop Mooney or QJ for Whittington.
I mean, if you want to drop Mooney for Whittington, fine. I wouldn't do it, but go ahead. I mean, I will say when you look at Whittington this year, I mean, maybe this is the week, but we're talking about a guy that's run 17% of the routes, has a -2 ADOT, has a 2% target share. I mean, he really needs to have a big increase this week.
I'll just say, look, you're shooting for that. It's like a lotto ticket, right? Could be nothing. You could hit the jackpot. Sure, go for the jackpot. Maybe if you get Whittington and he is this year's Puka, great. Mooney's not a guy who's probably going to turn into a league winner. Even if Drake London, is out for the year, Darnell Mooney's not going to be like, oh, now we have to start him every week. So sure, why not? Go for Whittington. K3. Shaheed or Dell in half.
I think at this point it's got to be Shaheed. I mean, look, sure, Dell could have had 2 huge plays too, but he hasn't. Shaheed has. I think at this point you just got to roll with Shaheed.
Yeah, I think so. Especially in half. Just need that big play, that touchdown. Go Shaheed. Oops, Daniel Chavez. Deontay or is that Jamison Williams or Doomsday?
Well, I assume since these are all wide receivers, that's Jamison Williams. If it is, it's definitely Jamison Williams. If it's Javonte Williams, I'll just go Deontay.
Exactly. Doomsday is not going to make the cut here. If it's JMO, go JMO. Nemesis breaks. What to do with Ford before Chubb comes back?
I mean, do we even have a timeline for Chubb? Is there even any talk that he might come back soon? I haven't heard anything about Nick Chubb since the season has started. I don't think we're seeing Chubb for a while. I would not worry about this.
No, look, there might come a point, maybe mid-season, maybe week 10 or something, where you're like, okay, Jerome Ford might lose touches. We're not even close to there yet, so don't worry about it. It's a 10-man league. I mean, you're probably not getting a lot for Ford right now anyway, so just hold tight.
Right. Yep.
Softly. Aaron Jones or Dobbins?
Can't doubt Dobbins.
I just quickly said that. I think this is so fly.
So fly, yes, and you gotta start Dobbins.
It's got to be Dobbins. In this case, it's got to be Dobbins. So fly. Okay, Big Luscious got a question for you. Which kicker? Which kicker?
I mean, I'm always gonna go with the guy named Dicker the kicker, but it should probably be the Chiefs kicker, I guess.
I don't know if there's a wrong choice here because there's no right choice. No. Now it is funny we talked about this because the streamers were like, okay, defensive streamers. People ask a lot of questions. Like, do we really have to talk about kicking streamers? That's like the line was drawn. Like, we'll not do that.
The line was drawn.
I think safe to say we will never. Although we should never say never, right? Are we ever going to see a kicker video on this channel?
Not from me. You're not going to see one from me. That's for sure.
All right. There you go. Leo Hilo. 2 questions. Would you pick up Schultz or stick with Gesicki?
No, give me Gesicki. Schultz, you need a touchdown for a floor from Schultz. Give me Gesicki.
No Schultz. All right, and then try to get. Well, what's the other question? Tried to get Chase. Who's in?
I guess. All right, so running back, I'm going to go, I guess, Kyron and Javonte Williams because I'm assuming you didn't play Braylon Allen. At wide receiver, Waddle and Ridley. If you need a flex, I guess Dell. And Geno at quarterback.
Yeah, definitely liking Geno at quarterback. Yeah, I would go in order: Ridley, Waddle, maybe Worthy, then Dell. I don't know. Worthy's like whatever, but all right. Raghav, Ravuri, Baker, or Richardson?
Richardson, way more upside.
Yeah, technically Baker's been better fantasy wise. Still stick with Richardson. And then Bills or Seahawks? Bills get the Jags, Seahawks get the Dolphins.
Yeah, Seahawks against Skylar Thompson at home. Give me the Seahawks.
Yep, Seahawks it is. All right. We're still getting to the super chats, by the way, guys. If you did super chat in the past hour, don't worry. We have not skipped you or forgotten you. We're just still catching up. And let's go with Tegan Powell. Full PPR. We need 2 flexes. Akers for Deontay, Tyler Johnson, Quentin Johnston, Juwan Jennings.
Deontay Johnson's the one I feel the best about. Akers and Ford. I literally have these guys neck and neck. I guess let's just go with Akers. Very close between those two. Deontay and Akers.
Deontay and Akers it is. Yep. Agree there. I said what I said. He said. Full PPR, flex Worthy or D-Rob or Steele or Waddle.
I mean, again, I think we had like a similar, not with these same guys, but we had like Demarcus Robinson and Waddle earlier. I think I'll just slightly go Demarcus. I think I'll just slightly go Demarcus Robinson here.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those two guys in full PPR. D-Rob or Waddle. I think I might just go D-Rob. Roman Marquez, 12 team, Worthy, McConkey, Akers, Steele. I guess one. I don't feel like McConkey has enough upside here.
No, I'm just debating, do I want to just gamble on the potential upside of Worthy or take the floor of like Akers? I don't know. I think in PPR I'll gamble on Worthy here, but if you want to, I mean, I can't even say Akers has a floor. Like, how can we say Akers even has a floor? I'll just go Worthy.
I think there is at least a floor. He's going to get the touches. So if you feel good about Akers, you can go with him. If you want to just shoot for the big touchdown, big game, it's Worthy. It's one of those two, either Akers or Worthy. Vic, TX361, non-PPR, Brian Thomas, Juwan Jennings, Demarcus Robinson, or Terry McLaurin.
Oh, goodness. Like, this should just be like Terry McLaurin, no doubt about it. Move on, but I might just go to Demarcus Robinson. I mean, maybe he's going to be a huge trap this week. He definitely could be, but like, what's the upside with McLaurin at this point? And Brian Thomas on the road in Buffalo, maybe he hits a big play, but that's really what you're hoping for. So I'll just go D-Rob.
Well, this is non-PPR. We're looking for touchdowns, right? Looking for touchdowns. Washington is not getting touchdowns at all. Like nobody. It was especially in the air. So, and Terry's basically been a trap the first 2 weeks. So maybe Jennings. I'll go D-Rob. To me, it's D-Rob here. J Army, 916 in a PPR 1 flex. Thielen, Rome, Eckler, or for the first time today, Gabe.
Gabe Davis revenge game. I mean, none of these guys scream upside to me. I'd probably just go Eckler. I just feel like he has the highest floor in PPR. Honestly.
Can't trust Rome just yet. I mean, I don't know, maybe it's not never Gabe, but I don't think we're there with Gabe yet, right?
No.
Is there a thought that Andy Dalton revives Adam Thielen's value?
I mean, maybe, but I'm not going to put that in my lineup and hope for that.
I mean, I'm not either. I just wanted to ask. All right, let's go Eckler here. Mr. Rivers, pick 3, Reek, Jameson, Collins, MHJ, and Jefferson.
You got to start. I think I'm going to bench Harrison and Jameson. I can't bench Tyreek Hill. I can't bench Jefferson. I don't feel like I can bench Collins right now. I know Harrison was great last week. I know he has another good matchup, but he's also a rookie. I think I'm just going to go Tyreek, Nico, and Jefferson. I can't you have to bench Marvin Harrison and Jameson Williams. Wow.
Good problem to have. You can't possibly consider not starting Justin Jefferson. Nico Collins now is an auto start. I mean, there's maybe a sliver of thought. Do I try Harrison over Reek? But I'm not going to do that. Just go Tyreek. Jake the Snake. Superflex. Goff, Moss, Flowers, or Darnold?
I will say Flowers is a consideration in Superflex, but I feel good enough about Goff this week against the Cardinals that I'm just going to Superflex Goff.
I mean, you got Flowers, who you must have a pretty good receiver room if Flowers is just down there. So, but yeah, go Goff. No reason to worry about Goff this week. Big Lou, Higgins, London, Jason, D-Rob needs one, just one.
I'm going Higgins. I mean, JSN, I guess safer if you don't want to risk the Higgins experience. But if it's me, I'm going Higgins.
Yeah, it probably should be Higgins. All right, I'm going to go Higgins there. Okay, and then Ford, Foreman, Singletary, Wandale, Tolbert, Gus, Leggett. 1 running back, 2 flex in full PPR.
All right, I'm still going Ford at running back. I'm not ready to put Foreman over him, and Singletary not a good spot. So I'm going Ford at running back. Man.
None of these really jump off the page as being great starts.
I might go Singletary and Tolbert. At least Singletary catches some passes. He gets the touches. Maybe he could score. And Tolbert got involved last week. Maybe I'll just gamble on that continuing.
I feel like, look, I like to kind of go process of elimination and work backwards. Wandale, no. Against the Browns, no. Foreman is a no. Leggett, no thanks. Gus against the Steelers on the road, no. So Ford is the one I feel best about, and then it's Singletary, Tolbert. I mean, I guess that's it, right? Running back 2 flex.
Yeah.
So Tolbert kind of by default there. Ernesto Balsaceres. Sorry. Gibbs or Jacobs?
I'm still going Gibbs over Jacobs.
Yeah. Still go Gibbs here. Flowers or Shaheed?
Flowers.
Yes.
Much higher floor.
Very strong start. Stingers in the house.
What's up, Stinger?
Rico or Bucky?
Just go Bucky. It's the Broncos. He could do something with his carries. It could be like a week where he gets like 10 carries and 70 yards or something. So just go Bucky.
It was bad enough week 1 when Rico was running behind Zeke. And then last week we saw Deuce Vaughn. It's like now a 3-man committee. Just got to go Bucky. Mr. Rivers now. Are we flexing Higgins, Akers, Moss?
Flexing Higgins. Let's go. Let's ride with Higgins.
I guess so. Higgins it is. And then Strange or Gesicki?
Strange. Talked about this a lot today. If we're going to go Higgins, that means we can't be as high on Gesicki. So let's just go Strange. I actually made this exact decision in one. Yeah, if you got Strange and Higgins, just drop Gesicki. Yes.
Exactly. That actually makes a lot of sense. Exactly the way you put it here. You go with one and that changes the others. There you go. Chris, 2 things.
What's up, Chris?
Trade Gibbs for Jamar or Garrett.
I would trade Gibbs for Jamar if you need wide receiver. You got Hall, Brian Robinson, Javonte, Bucky. I mean, your running backs are okay. If something happens to Hall or Brian Robinson, it's less than okay.
Yeah.
But I think Gibbs for Jamar is fair. I don't know. I think I'd prefer Gibbs over Garrett Wilson right now. Again, Gibbs is another guy. I feel like people are like, oh, Gibbs hasn't been that good. But I mean, he hasn't really been bad, has he? Like, am I missing something? Gibbs?
No. If somebody spends a first-round pick on a player, they expect them they're going to score like 50 points every week.
Exactly. That's true. Again, this is floor versus ceiling. Mari's the ceiling. B-Rob's the floor. I feel good about B-Rob this week, so I don't hate it. If you just want to say, like, I don't want to risk it with Amari.
Well, I'll just say here, if you can do Gibbs for Jamar, I know that would leave your running back depth a little thin, but if you can get Jamar Chase, I think it's worth it. And if that's the case, you're just starting B-Rob anyways, and then you'll be fine. So, yeah, I think you can do it. Jim Slim, 92. Rashad White or J.K. Dobbins?
I mean, I like the Rashad White bounce back this week, but you can't bench Dobbins right now. I think you just got to go with Dobbins.
Got to go Dobbins. Gonna just have to agree. We have one from Mino Casablian. All right, thank you, Mino. I don't immediately see a question. If we find it like Chris just did, then we'll put it up. And here it is. Do I start Dowdle, Downs, Ladd, or D-Hop?
I mean, if Pittman is out, I might just gamble on Downs. I mean, if not, I guess Ladd. Maybe D-Hop. I don't know.
It can't be Dowdle.
No.
D-Hop. What has D-Hop done? Nothing. I don't know. Obviously, this is a tough choice. Might just go Ladd and just hope something happens. The other team is Swift, Dowdle again, Gus, or D-Hop. Man, same players almost.
I might just gamble on Swift here. He's got a very good matchup this week. Maybe he can break off a long run or two. Go Swift. I don't really want to start any of those guys.
Yeah, I guess.
Etienne. It's Etienne. What's up, Dan, by the way? It's Etienne in non-PPR, half PPR, full PPR. It's Etienne.
Yeah. What's up, Dan, by the way? I think we missed you last week. Non-PPR, go Etienne. Spot chance. Trade Waddle for Higgins or Dell.
If Higgins was like healthy all year so far and playing pretty well, I might do Waddle for Higgins, but let's not risk it. Like, Tua should be back in 4 weeks. And then you're going to be happy you still have Waddle. Let's just hold Waddle.
Look, you have Higgins. Okay, fire him up. He's playing. It's Washington. I am not trading for Higgins right now. Just not doing it. Okay. And Dell, really, I don't see that being an upgrade. So, nah. Big dog pound, full PPR, flex, Pittman, Ford, Chase Brown, Coleman, Deontay Johnson.
I might just go Deontay Johnson here in full PPR with Andy Dalton and Hope. Hope Dalton is the answer. Like, not feeling good about Pittman. Ford is fine. Like, I think Ford's fine too. If you're like, hey, I just want a floor, go with Ford. But I think I'm going Deontay.
Going Deontay too. Really hoping this is the week where he, I don't know, like catches a pass. Maybe something like that. Yeah. I think he will. Vinny, what's up? All right. Watson hit waivers. What are you going to do? Drop Rico Suave, Gus?
Yes.
Spears, Rico?
Yeah, I'd probably drop Rico. I wouldn't go too crazy on the fab, only because I doubt anybody in your league is like, oh, Christian Watson's out there. Let me go get him. But I would definitely pick him up. Like, I mean, if your league is ultra aggressive, I maybe would go 25% of my fab. But if your league's not that ultra aggressive, 10 to 15% should be enough, I think, for Watson.
Right. And I'm trying to think, because I know Vinny's he's like in a 10-teamer and a 16-teamer. So this depends. If it's a deeper league, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's true.
The deeper it is, the more you spend, and vice versa. So
yeah, if it's a 16-teamer, you might need to go more. Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Vinny. I wonder what percentage of our audience gets the Rico Suave reference, which we totally get, but I wonder. Yeah, look it up. Mike Altawheel, full PPR, AR Mason, JT Evans, Hill, Kincaid, Henry. On the bench is Connor, Monty, Neighbors, Thomas, Cup, Ingram. Okay, so start sit any trades. Pickens is just on waivers.
Pickens is on the waivers.
It's a bum.
This must be a shallow league, but I still don't think he should be on waivers. You have Kincaid and Ingram. Oh, yeah, you should try it. Well, Ingram doesn't really have any trade value right now.
Yeah, neither does
Kincaid. But I might just drop Ingram for Pickens. But man, I don't want to just give some tight end needy team Ingram, but some team just gifted you Pickens. I mean, maybe Brian Thomas. This has got to be a super shallow league. So, I mean, if Pickens is out there, I doubt anybody's picking up Brian Thomas. Drop Brian Thomas for Pickens.
Yeah, I mean, either way, just point blank, I'd rather have Pickens than Thomas. So I guess, I mean, I don't know. You can't. Well, I don't know. Yes, pick up Pickens. Any changes to the lineup? I don't think so. I mean, Monty, Connor, not over JT or Mason, Neighbors. No, I don't think so.
I mean, I might. If you do get Pickens, I might flex him over Henry in PPR.
That's a good point. All right. Trades?
I mean, again, I would say trade Ingram, but nobody wants Ingram right now. But when Ingram comes back, maybe put Ingram out there as a potential trade for a tight end needy team.
If this is a team that has Hill, Evans, Pickens, Cup potentially coming back, do you try to trade Neighbors? But what do you get for Neighbors? I don't know. Yeah, maybe. But yeah, again, if you can package like a Neighbors and an Ingram, well, maybe do that. Package them to get a stud running back or receiver. Could do that. All right, Anthony Cervantes. Welcome back, Anthony. All right, are you trading Neighbors or DK for Olave or Wilson?
I mean, I'm trading Neighbors for either of those guys for sure. Either one. DK, I'm probably just holding.
Yeah, I could do that. I think this is a good time to get Olave. Talked about Garrett Wilson way back 3 hours ago. So yeah, could do that. Also, Ford, B-Rob, or Steele.
I think Brian Robinson. If we're talking about this week, I'm assuming, or even maybe long term, Brian Robinson definitely.
Yeah, this week go Brian Robinson. Drunken Hamster. All right. Needs a half-point flex. Juwan Jennings, Cam Akers, Carson Steele, Christian Kirk, QJ, or TJ.
In half PPR, let's just go Akers. He'll get the touches. He should be good enough. I mean, I wish I could say Kirk, but I can't. Let's just go Akers in half PPR.
It's kind of shocking already. Kirk is now fallen down to a flex option and not even the best flex option, but I would go Akers too. Eric L, half PPR. We need 2. Keon, Reed, Reynolds, the Josh Reynolds, or Wandale.
Let's just go Reed, even though I don't like Reed this week, but he's one of those guys that can like take a screen, take an end around, and score. And then I guess Josh Reynolds, he's kind of getting involved. He gets you some yards. I'm gonna go Reed and Reynolds.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Josh Reynolds was, surprisingly not bad last week. Can't start Wandale, already said that. And Keon Coleman could get you 0. So if you need 2 of these, Reed and Reynolds. All right, and then we got one from Noe Altamirano, but I don't see a question. So Noe, if we see it, we'll put it up. Let's go to Bobby Brook across the pond. PPR needs 1 receiver, 1 flex. Flowers, JMO, Terry, James Cook.
Man, I think you got to go Flowers. Oh, gosh. Jameson, James Cook is very, very tough for me.
Yeah, I feel like, Cook should be a set and forget, but at running back, you're flexing him. Flowers, JMO. It's not
PPR.
Terry.
I might go Flowers, Jameson, and PPR. But man, it's really gonna be really tough to bench James Cook. Who are your other running backs?
I know he's got a good team. Yeah, I'm fine with Flowers, JMO. If you want less risk, you could go Flowers, Cook. Ramsey, Abigail, Higgins, Overdell, and Judy. Yes. Or Moss.
And
yes.
Moss. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Ramsey, just go Higgins. Just go for it. T. Higgins could wind up being the most. No, I'm not going to say it. He'll be great.
Yeah, don't even put that out there. Don't even put that out there.
Raziel 820, Laporta or Bowers? Oh, you knew it. You knew it was coming.
This is a case where I will bench Laporta for Bowers. I will actually play Bowers over Laporta. No problem.
And you called this. You said there are going to be teams. Just watch. There are going to be teams like this.
Yep.
Go Bowers. It's a good spot for him. Warren or Brandon Cooks? This is
Just give me Cook. Just give me a Cooks and hope for something. Hope for a big play.
I cannot start Warren. Look, let me just say this. I don't know if this is the case. If this is the same team, would you just flex the other tight end like Laporta instead of Cooks? I would.
I wish I felt better about Laporta. I mean, maybe.
Cooks?
Yeah, maybe this is a Laporta week. Maybe. Probably
yeah,
not.
I would say if it's the same team, I would flex Laporta, but if not, go Cooks. All right, Noah, here's the question from Noah Altamirano. Dobbins, Akers, or Dell?
Dobbins. You just got to roll with Dobbins. I know the matchup's terrible. This could be the week where Dobbins kills you, but I think until it happens, you got to roll with Dobbins.
Yep. Got to go Dobbins. Akers could, but Dobbins has. Go with Akers, maybe after this week. Benching Pittman, don't blame you there with those receivers. And Laporta, we just said you can bench Laporta for Bowers. Vic has got another one in Ferguson or Strange.
Still going Ferguson. He's in that Cowboys offense. Like if I had the choice, I mean, I'm starting Strange in a couple leagues, and if I had the choice, I would take Ferguson for sure.
Yeah, Strange is a good streamer if you need it, but just go Ferguson. He's fine, supposedly. Justin Lamb, pick one. Dadla, Dunze, Whittington, Wandale, Coleman, Bucky, Thielen.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, if these are your options, this is why I just close my eyes and just roll the dice and say, give me Whittington and see what he does.
Oh man, I think I was gonna say Coleman. He did run the most routes of any Bills wide receiver last week, and he didn't really get targeted. But they're gonna have to throw more this week. I might just go. But yeah, these are all just dice rolls. Yeah,
right.
Good luck, Justin. This is tough for sure.
There you go. So either way, just taking a shot, either Whittington or Coleman. Gio Ree, pick 2. Pierce, Johnston, Mooney, Dell.
I think Dell is the one. I think I almost feel like I have to play out of this group, even though he's been disappointing. I feel like he just has most upside. And then let's just keep rolling with Alec Pierce. Pittman might be out. He's been getting targets. He's been getting touchdowns. I'm just going to go Dell and Pierce.
Well, that's a good point. When talking about the Bears defense has been really good, and they have been really good, but, they're going to have Jalen Johnson, their best corner, probably not on Alec Pierce, probably on Pittman if he's out there. Pittman limited. This could be an opportunity for Pierce to do something. And I think with this group, I'll just still go Dell. All right, Yick. Half PPR, Pickens or B-Rob in half. Floor ceiling.
Yes, floor ceiling again. So if it's me, I'm going. I think Brian Robinson has been good enough that I might just go Brian Robinson, especially in half PPR. But it wouldn't surprise me if Pickens has a bigger game this week.
B-Rob has the floor, Pickens has a ceiling. I will say not just because I like Pickens to go off this week, but I don't feel like this is as big a B-Rob week. I liked B-Rob a lot last week, and he had a good week. I feel like he'll be solid, but I don't feel like it's necessarily a huge Robinson game. And then defense, Pittsburgh or Vegas.
Pittsburgh's fine. It's the Chargers with Justin Herbert on a bad ankle, but the Chargers might only throw the ball 15, 20 times. Like, how many sacks and interceptions can they really get here? So I just don't know what Pittsburgh's upside is. Give me the Raiders.
So this is where I'll say my regular thing about defenses. Depends on your scoring system. If points allowed gives you a big boost and bonus, and that's more emphasized, then I'm going to Pittsburgh for sure. If you get more, if it really weighs more heavily towards sacks, interceptions, turnovers, take a chance on Vegas. Spaceman Drew, what's up? Never a dumb question. Would you put Bucky Irving or Michael Pittman?
If Pittman plays, I'm still going Pittman here. Bucky Irving's still behind Rachaad White. Bucky Irving is going to need to rip off a long run or somehow score a touchdown. So if Pittman plays, I'm going Pittman.
Yeah, I think this question would be more challenging if Rachaad White was on the injury report, right? Remember, he was maybe going to be questionable. If he was still in doubt, Bucky Irving would look a lot more appealing. But right now, I think we just still got to go with Pittman. Even though Pittman is on the injury report, if Pittman plays, just go Pittman. Daniel Vator. Jason or Higgins?
This is a spot where I can say, look, if you don't want to deal, and I think I've said this multiple times now, if you don't want to deal with the Higgins experience, JSN is good enough, I think, to put him in over Higgins. If it's me, I'm still going Higgins because it's the Commanders. It's the Commanders. I want to take advantage of the Commanders if I can. But if you're like, I don't want to deal with the Higgins, I totally get it. Just go JSN. He's good enough.
This is a dilemma. I think these guys both have a massive ceiling this week. So Higgins should have the higher ceiling. I'm okay if you put Higgins in there. If you don't want to worry, go JSN. He could still put up numbers. All right, Jordan, Olsen, Drake London, or Rashid Shaheed?
I still got to go London here. I know Shaheed's been better, but if he doesn't hit on a long touchdown, what are you really going to get from Shaheed? So, maybe he does it 3 weeks in a row, but I think I'm still going London.
Yeah, and again, I know I keep saying this. I'm not out on London. I think he's fine, but I'm wondering. We keep saying about upside and the big, game upside. I think Shaheed has definitely more upside here. I just like the matchup against Philly. He definitely could get one of those big plays. London, I just not a great spot for him. I might go Shaheed here. Just hope for that big play, and then Rise just saying what's up. What's up?
What's up, Rise?
All right. We're getting there. If you super chat at any time in the last, wow, only 10 minutes, then we're about to get to yours. It's crazy. We're like so far behind, and all of a sudden it just happens. We catch up. And let's get to Bobby Brook. Deontay is on waivers, but would you drop Christian Watson?
There's nobody else you can drop. I mean, I think you're fine dropping Christian Watson. He's not going to do anything this week. Nobody's going to pick him up. But is there somebody else you can drop?
Oh, I know who he can drop.
Well, here we go.
Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers. Oh, he dropped him. He did drop Aaron Rodgers.
And of course, Aaron Rodgers had a big game after he drops him. Honestly, you can drop. I mean, you have Bijan, so maybe you don't want to drop Algier, but you can drop Jalen Wright for Deontay Johnson.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
It's not a bad stash, but when a guy like Deontay pops up, you take him. So, yeah, agree. And look, you have Bijan, you have his handcuff, you have Mason, you have Cook. Pretty soon, I'll say you could probably just drop Javante, but right now you can drop Wright. Okay, King Anu. This is a non-PPR league. Hubbard, Samaji, or Bucky?
I think I got to go Chuba, especially in non-PPR. He's going to get more carries. He's going to be more involved. Maybe Andy Dalton saves that offense. I'm going to go Chuba.
Yes. Go with the guy. Is Samaji more valuable in a PPR league? He needs a touchdown. Hubbard could score a touchdown. If Rachaad White was out, maybe go Bucky, but for now, just go Hubbard. And you won't believe it. Just like that, we've got all the super chats in. All right. Only took 3 hours and 21 minutes. So let's do a couple of things. We're going to answer a couple of the non-super chats. We'll do a quickie here, but let me also remind you, if you didn't get your question from earlier in the stream answered, or you still got more questions later tonight or before tomorrow, and you can't join us on tomorrow's live stream, which don't forget, we're going to be on again tomorrow morning, 3 hours before kickoff, to get you caught up on the latest injury news and answer your questions, of course. If at any time ever you want to ask us a question and we're not on live, maybe you just didn't or don't want to super chat, you know what? That's fine. Use the app. It's called Draft Lane. It is absolutely free to download on the Play Store, the App Store. And if you're new and you sign up right now, you get $10 credit. Again, it's free. But to ask those questions, you want to try it out, this is a time, limited time, new customers getting that $10 credit. And we can answer all the same type of questions we've been doing, but offline. So check it out if you haven't already. And I think it's also probably a good time to remind you about Underdog. If for some reason you haven't tried it, guys, get in on the action, get your pick'em set for before tomorrow's games. You can also do college. You can do baseball while the season's still going on. Pick'ems for any sport, every sport. If you're new to Underdog and you sign up right now, you get this free pick for new customers. Pat Mahomes, higher than 0.5 total yards. So that's a freebie. You also get all sorts of other freebies. Just make sure if you're signing up for the first time on Underdog, you use code ENDGAME. That gets you the free picks plus, that's right, up to $1,000 in bonus cash for your first deposit. As much as you want to put in there, you're going to get that money back. So again, Underdog is the place to go for all your picks and even weekly drafts. You can do tournaments every single week if that's your thing. And we do have a couple more super chats under the gun, like usual. So let's do JW, 18 PPR, Dobbins or Rachaad White?
It's got to be Dobbins. You got to just roll with Dobbins.
It's got to be Dobbins, yes. And then Tank or Waddle?
I mean, they've both been disappointing to some degree. I mean, Dell does have Stroud, but it's not a great match. I think I just still go Waddle here. Hope for the best.
This is a tough one. Bank on a big play. Go Waddle. Michael Belinsky, Amari Cooper, or Calvin Ridley?
I'm going Cooper this week, but Ridley's fine. If you feel better about Ridley, go with Ridley. I have my doubts.
I feel better about Ridley. I'm gonna go with Ridley here. I'm not out on Cooper. Definitely has a high ceiling. I would stick with Ridley. It's not a bad matchup for him. Andrew Knapp, pick 2: JSN, Rashid Shaheed, Monty. It's PPR.
I think you got to go JSN. I mean, now it's floor ceiling again. Monty gives you the floor. Shaheed gives you the ceiling. I usually chase the ceiling. That means Shaheed. But, man, it'd be hard to bench Monty right now.
Yeah, I feel JSN is the lock here. I like Shaheed. I think this is a good spot for him. Sure, he could do nothing, but I don't think he'll do nothing, even if he doesn't hit a 70-yard touchdown, which he definitely is not guaranteed to do. I think he'll give you at least something. I would just roll with it. I would roll those 2 receivers because it's full PPR. All right, and then Chris KD. What's up? Doing well for sure. Kittle, Walker, and AJ Brown are all out. Playing Zach Moss. Okay, so who to replace the other 2s with? Strange at tight end, probably Strange.
Yeah, Strange at tight end. And here I'm definitely going to go Shaheed. Let's gamble on that upside. These other guys, nah. Strange and Shaheed, definitely.
Yeah, there you go. Marcus, half PPR. BTJ, Waddle, Demarcus Robinson.
Yeah, I've been saying let's just go to Demarcus Robinson, even over Waddle here. He should be the number 1 wide receiver for Stafford. Let's just go D-Rob. Hope for the best.
Yeah. It's between those 2. Let's go Robinson. I don't trust Skylar Thompson. Big Luscious wants to know, he has 2 solid tight ends. Would you trade Laporta to get Flowers?
Definitely. If you have 2 solid tight ends, 100%, no problem. No problem.
Yeah, I think that's good to do. Zach Dabney.
Oh, that's right. That's the backup tight end.
Could you forget Eric?
There's got to be better options, I hope. Brenton Strange. Yeah, I'm not starting him.
No, not maybe. Sure, maybe he gets a couple of catches. Maybe he gets a touchdown, but maybe not. Nah, dude, go somewhere else. The truth. What is the truth here? Hurts or Derek Carr?
Hurts. Definitely Hurts.
Yeah, the truth is you're never benching Jalen Hurts. Etienne, Cook, Dobbins, Monty.
I can't look. I know you want to play Dobbins, but I can't bench Etienne or Cook. So Etienne and Cook.
Cook is for sure. Etienne, Dobbins, I'll probably still go to Etienne. All right, Tyreek Hill, Diggs, DJ Moore, JMO, Ridley. Man,
I'm going Tyreek Hill, JMO. And then you know what? I might flex. I'm probably just going to flex Dobbins. Yeah, flex Dobbins.
Yeah, I think if flex, it's either Ridley or Dobbins. I mean, if you're starting 3 receivers, then it would start Ridley and then flex Dobbins. But yeah, you can flex Dobbins. Kicker question: Fairbairn or Moody?
Flip a coin.
Let's go Fairbairn because he's playing in a dome. There you go. Spaceman Drew, Pittman or D-Rob?
Let's just go to Marcus Robinson. I'm not, even if Pittman plays, I'm not feeling a big Pittman game. Let's just go to Marcus Robinson.
Yeah, might as well take a shot on upside. All right, we have time for a super quick lightning round before we get off.
Super quick because I'm a little late again, but super quick. Let's do it. People have been
all right, here. Gonzala, head of home. Thielen or T?
T. Not the one that's not the Thielen T.
Gary Wynn, Purdy or Carr?
Carr. I'll go Carr here.
Yes. Go Carr. Gabe 2001, pick 2, Fort Acres Diggs.
If it's PPR, I guess Diggs, otherwise Akers.
Right. That makes sense. Mario. Gesicki or Ferg?
Ferguson. Ferg. Definitely Ferg.
All right. Super chat, Hunter Load.
All right.
Would you trade Debo for BTJ and Tank Dell?
Definitely not. Just wait for
No.
Debo to get back.
Keep Debo.
Yes.
JW, 8 Evans, Godwin, Flex, Ayuk, bench, Rashad White, D. London.
Yeah, I'm not starting those guys. Like your 3 wide receivers are must starts.
No,
good.
No changes here. HM, half PPR needs a flex. Pickens, Sharps, Cooper, Ford.
It's between Pickens and Cooper. I might feel slightly better about Pickens, I guess. It's very close between Pickens and Cooper.
I'm gonna say Pickens. That's just me. Cooper's got some upside as well. All right. Gonna get out of here. But again, you got questions, use the app. It's Draft Lane. Download it for free. Check it out right now. Get that $10 credit. Don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow morning if you didn't get to get your question answered. So we will see you. And of course, if you haven't checked out all the videos, we got start, sit, running back, quarterback, tight end, wide receiver, boom picks, streamers now, everything you could possibly want. Check it out and beat the breakout. So thank you guys. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. Put notifications on so you can catch us as soon as we go on the next one.